never guess the places that I've been. You never guess the places that I've been. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. I'm never gonna let the day begin. Never gonna let the day begin. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. Oh, don't wake me up before you go, and I'll just make this bed my home. Oh, darling, please just let me sleep. Give me my dreams. Better from above. Nothing's ever as it seems, yeah, except in that world that I dream of. Never gonna lose the ones I love. Never gonna lose the ones I love. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that world that I dream of. Oh, don't up before you go, 'cause I can't face this day alone. Oh, darling, please just let me sleep. Give me my dreams. Give me my dreams. Give me my dreams.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. The Pentagon has ordered around 1,500 active duty troops to be ready for possible deployment to Minnesota amid intensifying anti-ICE protests sparked by the fatal shooting of Renee Good. President Trump has threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act, but recently said he does not see a need to use it right now, and no deployment decision has yet been made. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is defending President Trump's plan to impose tariffs on Denmark and European allies who do not support the U.S. taking Greenland.
Appearing on NBC's Meet the Press, Bessent argued that tariffs are a matter of national security importance.
It is a strategic decision by the president. This is a geopolitical decision, and he is able to use the economic might of the U.S. to avoid a hot war.
His comments come as the European Union was set to hold an emergency meeting to discuss President Trump's Greenland tariffs. On Sunday, EU leaders warned in a joint statement that the tariffs undermine transatlantic relations, adding, "We will continue to stand united in response." I'm Mark Mayfield.
Federal authorities are cracking down on interference during immigration enforcement operations.
A Jacksonville woman is facing federal charges after investigators say she punched a Florida Highway Patrol trooper during a joint ICE operation. Authorities say Jennifer Cruz exited her vehicle and struck the trooper in the face. She was arrested Thursday and later released on bond. Ron Warner, USA Radio News.
There's a new breast cancer DNA test that scientists say predicts which treatment will work best.
It was developed at the Institute for Cancer Research in London, and it involves a simple blood test and liquid biopsy. Researchers are telling the British newspaper The Guardian it has the potential to be game-changing for the more than 2 million women worldwide diagnosed with breast cancer each year. If it's used early on to direct women to the right combination of chemotherapy and immunotherapy, scientists think it would boost survival rates. I'm Sarah Lee Kessler.
From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Business owners, are you paying high phone bills for old school systems and lousy service? StrongTel cuts your phone bills in half and turns every phone you own into a feature-rich business system. Sean Roddy, CEO of Hennings Brothers Drilling, had this to say. We've been a StrongTel customer for over 10 years. It's great, and even includes an intercom with video to our equipment yard. I can watch live from anywhere with my smartphone. I'd recommend StrongTel to anyone. Never miss a customer call again with your StrongTel business system. StrongTel is a proud iTex partner and always welcomes your iTex dollars. You'll get award-winning StrongTel service, a business-class phone system, and cut your phone bill in half. Visit strongtel.com. That's StrongTel, StrongTel.com. StrongTel.
We have to follow the law, and there are strict rules when it comes to FERPA, and that will not change.
From Florida, the Sarasota County School District is expected to consider a resolution tomorrow affirming full cooperation with law enforcement, including ICE. District spokesman Craig Maniglia spoke with WFLA.
We also do not release any kind of student records to anybody, so everybody in our school, we respect all the privacy.
District officials say student files remain protected, though critics question whether such a resolution is necessary given constitutional due process guarantees. At least 8 skiers were killed in 3 separate avalanches in the Austrian Alps over the weekend. The deadly snowslides hit areas near Salzburg and central Austria, despite clear warnings about high avalanche danger, underscoring hazardous winter conditions. A smaller version of the Las Vegas Sphere is going to be built in Prince George's County, Maryland.
Sphere Entertainment Company has announced a collaboration with the county, the state of Maryland, and Peterson Companies to build a Sphere at National Harbor. It'll have about 16,000 seats as well as cutting-edge technology such as a 16K display and Sphere immersive sound. The effort will be supported by about $200 million in state, local, and private incentives. No timeline has been established since construction is contingent on several pending agreements and approvals. I'm Matt Mattinson.
And I'm Anthony Lucero, USA Radio News.
iLocal.net is offering a free website analysis to improve the online presence of your business. Business owners across the U.S. turn to iLocal.net to improve their search engine rankings. Search engines are constantly changing their algorithms. You need the professionals who know how to use those changes to benefit your business. Don't hope for new customers. Get found and be chosen. Visit iLocal.net/go for your free website analysis. iLocal.net/go.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems and their solutions. For example,
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme.
Today's ultra-low sulfur fuels leave injector deposits causing frequent DPF regens and low throttle response. Diesel Extreme is a once every 6-month treatment that will clean your entire fuel system, including the tank, lines, pump, and the injectors.
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme is available nationwide at truck stops, fine farm and auto stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com.
Did you miss an episode of the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive? Or just want to relive a little bit of the magic? Don't worry. You can download the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive wherever you get your podcasts. Don't miss a single second of the show that was recently named one of the best late-night shows in America. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive so you don't miss a single episode. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive. Available wherever you get your podcasts or online at overnightdriveradio.com.
Another dark night on the interstate. Another 100 miles in the pouring rain. These are worth all the time I've spent away. Another dark night on the interstate. Trying to make it right, my baby's at home, hope she's doing alright. Miss my dogs and I miss my girls. I'm 1,000 miles away from my old
Alrighty, just like that, cue the microphone, and here we go again. In the blink of an eye, it's another day. So, ready or not, we'll close out a Monday and turn the page on the calendar. Time zone to time zone. Rolling into the 20th day of January here in 2026. And away we go. Well, no two ways about it. It's another cold night outside the secret bunker. Actually, not too warm inside the bunker. Yeah, the split's about useless. Space heater working overtime. Yeah, I brought the kerosene heater in for backup. Princess is toasty warm. And good to have you with us. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive, live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios. Yes, indeed. Where are we at? We're in the single digits, I know that. Pappy says he's showing, 9 degrees on the dash cam there in southwest Ohio. So, sounds about right. Yes, you are correct, Pappy. Thank goodness it's calm. The winds are not blowing, so we don't have that 20 below wind chill thing. But yes, indeed. And you think it's cold now. Yeah, get ready. It's just going to be colder as we progress, especially through the latter portions of this week. Eastern 2/3 of the country. Drivers, I hope you're treating that diesel fuel, especially in the northern half of the country, with those bitterly cold temperatures. All that fuel will be gelling up. Hot Shot Secret everyday diesel treatment with winter defense. Make sure you're giving it a good dose. If properly treated, you can keep that fuel liquefied down to 40 below. But yes, Arctic air is amassing in northern Canada. It's going to be surging into the central states later this week and into the weekend. This has the potential to be the coldest so far this winter, and it's been mighty darn cold on several occasions already. This may surpass, yes, the cold we saw in December. Likely to expand as far south as Texas and into the east. Dozens to maybe hundreds of locations are going to be dropping several degrees below their seasonal lows late this week and during the weekend. The bitterly cold air will be accompanied by extremely low wind chills, which tells how it feels when you're taking into the account the wind, temperature, humidity, precipitation. Wind chills 10 to 30 below the actual air temperature at times. This cold going to be dangerous with the risk of frostbite on exposed skin. It could be life-threatening for those not properly dressed due to hypothermia, shock, or cardiorespiratory failure in compromised individuals. Historically, the middle to second half of January has the lowest temperatures of the winter. From a scientific standpoint, the upcoming cold's predicted to bring temperature departures of anywhere from 10 to 40 degrees below average over the Midwest by the time we get to Friday. High temperature Minneapolis protesters, right? Think they'll be out? It'll be double digits below zero. May not rise above zero in Chicago. Energy demand is going to increase as 1 to 200 million people turn up the heat. Now, depending on the track and intensity of a southern storm with snow, sleet, and freezing rain, the severe cold could continue to press southward and eastward this weekend and into early next week, from the southern plains to the Appalachians, the Atlantic seaboard. For those who have not properly taken measures to protect pipes from freezing, you've dodged a problem thus far. This is a warning that may be ahead. There may be long-lasting power outages in the southern states where this storm looks to possibly bring freezing rain rather than snow or sleet. Meanwhile, the cold unfolding in much of the Midwest to the Northeast, just a preview of what's to come over the next couple of days. On its own, some areas may experience the lowest temperatures of the winter so far, just ahead of an even bigger surge of Arctic air several days later. In the days leading up to the big blast of cold air and this big winter storm, we could see several clipper storms bringing areas of light snow from the Midwest to the interior Northeast. Of course, the flow of cold around the Great Lakes will be triggering lake effect snow in localized areas. Tonight, yes, we see the winter storm warnings due to lake effect snow pretty much all of western lower Michigan. Winter weather advisories all the way over through the entirety of Michigan. Western portions of New York, once again, the typical areas impacted by lake effect snow. We'll see inches and inches piling up. Now, intertwined with those light snow events and the localized intense lake effect snow will be periodic heavy snow squalls that could generate dangerous conditions on the highways. The effect of this frigid air passing over the Great Lakes will also lead to a rapid growth of ice cover. Once that happens, especially off Lake Erie, which is often the first to freeze over, the lake effect snow will definitely taper down. Great Lakes ice historically ramps up into late February and early March. These upcoming rounds of frigid air will indeed result in ice cover swinging from below average to suddenly above average. So that would be good news to kind of shut down the intensity of the lake effect snows. Coming up, we'll take a look as this weekend storm, some of the models we were talking about it last evening, depicting potentially a major ice storm impacting areas much of Texas to parts of Louisiana, Arkansas. Northern areas will be seeing snow and maybe heavy snow. Meanwhile, well, I didn't get to see the game, but I was paying attention. I was doing the show prep here, keeping an eye on the college football championship game. Yes, indeed, one of the greatest sports stories is the highlight completed Monday night as Indiana defeats Miami 27-21, the final score, to capture that program's first ever college football national championship. All while capping an unforgettable 2025 season, ending with a perfect 16-0 record, undefeated. The win, they say, didn't come easily, as the Hurricanes closed the gap twice in the second half, even pulling within 3 points with just over 6.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. The Hurricanes marched down the field 91 yards to score off a 22-yard touchdown pass by Carson Beck, cutting that lead to 24-21. Hoosiers managed to give themselves a little bit of breathing room with a field goal on the ensuing drive. Indiana defense then held the Hurricanes off from there, securing the win with Jamari Sharp picking off a pass from Beck with just under a minute left in the game. Fernando Mendoza had the highlight touchdown of the game, running into the end zone on a 4th and 4 play at the Hurricanes' 12-yard line, driving through the Miami defense to score to make it a 24-14 game late in the fourth quarter. This marked an improbable turnaround for the program, which head coach Curt Cignetti took over prior to the 2024 season and has since put up a 26-2 record over those two campaigns going into the national title game this past evening. So congratulations to those Hoosiers fans out there, as obviously they're celebrating in Miami tonight. Matter of fact, President Trump was there to witness the national championship game in person between the Indiana-Miami. Trump was spotted in a suite during the pregame festivities with his daughter Ivanka and several of his grandchildren. as the national anthem was performed, the president waving to the crowd, prompting applause from fans in the packed stadium. Among the grandchildren, they say, was Kaya Trump, the daughter of Donald Trump Jr., an incoming University of Miami golfer, smiling as the cameras focused on the president's box. She had a cast on her arm after undergoing wrist surgery earlier this month to repair some damaged stabilizing tissue. Ahead of the kickoff, the president released a statement congratulating both teams on reaching college football's greatest stage. Melania and I congratulate the Indiana Hoosiers and the Miami Hurricanes on making it to the College Football National Championship. God bless the talented players and dedicated coaches, the families who love and support them, and the faithful fans who cheer them on. May the best team win. Of course, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, a Miami native, longtime Hurricanes supporter, also in attendance. He was seen on the sidelines with his Secret Service detail. Rubio was later spotted chatting with the former Heisman Trophy winner and ex-NFL quarterback Tim Tebow, who was in attendance as well. So, sounds like it was a great game, right? Good to have you on board. Round the country, 844-844-3388.
Put your business on a brand that is heard in some of the biggest radio markets on some of the biggest radio stations in the United States. Or maybe you want to have your brand take advantage of the explosive growth in podcasting. Why not do both? The Steve Summers Overnight Drive offers the best of both worlds and is ready to put your business at the front of everyone's waking thoughts.
I'm sorry, am I moving too quickly for you?
Well, at least you'll be on their mind in there somewhere. For sure, the Steve Summers Overnight Drive was recently named one of the top 15 late-night shows in America. So advertising on the Steve Summers Overnight Drive will put you in front of the very clients you want to walk through your front door. Interested? Maybe you want to take a test drive, kick the tires, do a sample tasting, which might be kind of gross. Get details at overnightdriveradio.com or email rwild@lubricationspecialties.com. And let's put the Steve Summers Overnight Drive to work for you today.
Well, we're off the air. For good, I think.
Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system. Did you miss an episode of the Steve Summers Overnight Drive? Or just want to relive a little bit of the magic? Don't worry, you can download the Steve Summers Overnight Drive wherever you get your podcasts. Don't miss a single second of the show that was recently named one of the best late-night shows in America. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Steve Summers Overnight Drive so you don't miss a single episode. The Steve Summers Overnight Drive, available wherever you get your podcasts or online at overnightdriveradio.com.
What do you say? Hello to Philly Dan. Good morning from the city of brotherly love. It's ice cold out there. No doubt about it. Bundle up there, Dan. Hello to Rob. Good morning from Miamisburg, Ohio. There's Jeffrey checking in from southern Florida. Hello, Steve and the overnight family. Good morning to the overnight crew. Happy Taco Tuesday. Tank running under the starlit skies in Winslow, Arizona. 38 degrees. We're hammered down toward Banning, California. Everybody truck safe. Have a blessed day. Hello to John Ferguson. Morning, Steve. The overnighters crew. It's a balmy 8 degrees. About 50 miles east of Davenport, Iowa. Just saw something on the news about keeping daylight savings time year-round. What would be nice not be nice, eh? Getting ready for the big storm coming this weekend. Brace yourselves in the south. This is looking like it could be a huge, crippling ice storm down there. Meanwhile, everybody stay warm, stay safe. There's Country Bumpkin. Good morning, Overnight Drive family. Checking in from a snowy, cold Waterford, Michigan tonight. There's Kevin on board. Morning, Steve, the overnight crew. I-95 southbound. There's Shorty getting the week started. The Georgia-Florida line, 34 degrees. Orlando turnaround number 1. Indeed, next weekend, not looking good for the southeast. Yeah, lots of snow and ice. Yeah, make your preparations now. Have a backup source of heat, you know what I mean? Just be prepared. Hello from Bob in Michigan. There's Rubber Duck. How about those Indiana Hoosiers, gang? What a great game. There's John. Morning, Steve, the overnight family. Taco Tuesday. How about it? Indiana, they did it. I'm happy to be a Hoosier. Good game. They went 16-0 on the season. We're right now very cold. 7-degree wind chill at -4 tonight. Everybody have a safe night. Jason, morning, Steve, passing through, where are we at? Wichita, Kansas, got a load of steel, headed toward Lamar, Iowa. 24 degrees right now, dry roads, starlit sky. Be safe out there to all the listening families. Scrapyard, waving all 5 at us here. Ty Frazier, hello, Steve. Hello, listeners and viewers. Plowboy, morning, Steve. Damn Hoosiers. He was pulling from Miami. Sorry about that, Plowboy. All right, still cold here in Kansas City, Missouri. Thank you, Steve, and Hotshot Secrets. About a one-time shout-out to the Grump, the analyst. There you go. Gilligan's on board there, I guess getting his week started. Larry, good afternoon. Hammer down. Let's see, 2 degrees, Platkill, New York. I'm taking a nap. It's been a long day. Then it's off to Schenectady, New York. With the potential for winter weather here in Atlanta, Georgia this weekend. I'll be sure to empty the grocery store shelves later this week. That is a fact, yes. By the way, happy Tuesday. No Snow Joe joins us from Florida, where typically you don't deal with it. But, yeah, we had some snow in Pensacola Saturday night, Sunday morning. There's Gilligan. Morning, Steve, fellow listeners. Cool, breezy Dublin, Virginia, 27 degrees this hour. Keep it shiny side up. Lauren Weiss, 2-time world champion bull hauler, 24 in Hillsville, Virginia. Well, the Big Ten prevailed. The state of Indiana now has some redeeming qualities, and the boosters had better open their own bank. What was it Big Ed said about those of us rooting for the Hoosiers? Steve, did you catch the Buffalo Bills fired their head coach? Yes. What happened to the days of coaches that could lose 4 Super Bowls, then become the president of football operations? I guess nobody has the patience these days, but a special shout out to Eagle tonight from I-77 southbound. There's the Ice Cream Man. Check it in here in Marion, Illinois tonight. Deborah on board from the Lone Star State. Steve, those little Hot Pockets, those orange packets, they work. May need to use several of them. Flannel or fleece-lined jeans, very warm. Got mine from the LL Bean Company. Rural King and some of the farm stores carry those as well. Trying to stay warm, right? Santa Claus, top of the morning, 48 degrees here in Elk Grove, California. About 2 miles from Kyle Larson's parents' home. He's our local hero here. Dave, morning, Steve, a.k.a. the Beach Bum. It's a cool 37 in Ocala, Florida tonight. Heading up to the meet point and then back to Tampa. All right, have a wonderful show. We'll be tuned in. There's Sneakers, I-57 south of Effingham, Illinois. 12 degrees at this hour. Yeah, no wind, but just brr. Cold. All right, for those with the clear skies, especially in northern tier of the country, tonight, according to several reports, could bring the best chance in months to see the northern lights, the aurora potentially glowing over dozens of states. Sunday, the sun unleashed a powerful eruption that sent a cloud of charged particles known as a coronal mass ejection racing toward the Earth. It has arrived, but it says when it arrives Monday night to early Tuesday, it will create dazzling displays of the northern lights, where the lights are rare, as a matter of fact. NOAA's Space Prediction Center had issued a severe geomagnetic storm watch for Monday night, expecting to reach a level 4 out of 5 on NOAA's space weather scale. This could be people as far south as maybe Alabama, Northern California, able to see the auroras during the peak of the event. All right, Northern Lights tonight. What are you seeing out there? Anything? It's 844-844-3388.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. The Pentagon has ordered around 1,500 active duty troops to be ready for possible deployment to Minnesota amid intensifying anti-ICE protests. President Trump has threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act, but recently said he does not see a need to use it right now, and no deployment decision has yet been made. Federal authorities are cracking down on interference during immigration enforcement operations.
A Jacksonville woman is facing federal charges after investigators say she punched a Florida Highway Patrol trooper during a joint ICE operation. Authorities say Jennifer Cruz exited her vehicle and struck the trooper in the face. She was arrested Thursday and later released on bond. Ron Warner, USA Radio News.
7 police officers were killed in Guatemala after gangs attacked during a prison crackdown. Authorities regained control and freed the hostages, but violence spread around Guatemala City, prompting increased military and police operations. From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Business owners, are you paying high phone bills for old school systems and lousy service? StrongTel cuts your phone bills in half and turns every phone you own into a feature-rich business system. Sean Roddy, CEO of Hennings Brothers Drilling, had this to say. We've been a StrongTel customer for over 10 years. It's great, and even includes an intercom with video to our equipment yard. I can watch live from anywhere with my smartphone. I'd recommend StrongTel to anyone. Never miss a customer call again with your StrongTel business system. StrongTel is a proud iTex partner and always welcomes your iTex dollars. You'll get award-winning StrongTel service, a business-class phone system, and cut your phone bill in half. Visit StrongTel.com. That's StrongTel, StrongTel.com. It's StrongTel.
Want to put your business on a brand that is heard in some of the biggest radio markets on some of the biggest radio stations in the United States? Or maybe you want to have your brand take advantage of the explosive growth in podcasting. Why not do both? The Steve Summers Overnight Drive offers the best of both worlds and is ready to put your business at the front of everyone's waking thoughts.
I'm sorry, am I moving too quickly for you?
Well, at least you'll be on their mind in there somewhere. For sure, the Steve Summers Overnight Drive was recently named one of the top 15 late-night shows in America. So advertising on the Steve Summers Overnight Drive will put you in front of the very clients you want to walk through your front door. Interested? Maybe you want to take a test drive, kick the tires, do a sample tasting, which might be kind of gross. Get details at overnightdriveradio.com or email rwild@lubricationspecialties.com. And let's put the Steve Summers Overnight Drive to work for you today.
Well, we're off the air. For good, I think.
Like the men and women who power America, the people at Hot Shot Secret work hard and play harder. We're the fastest growing diesel and oil additive brand in the country. We solve problems. We protect engines. We save you money. And more importantly, time. Hot Shot's secret, powered by science.
Truckers, meet the SpeedMax Pro Max, the tire built for serious hauls and serious peace of mind. With rugged construction and performance you can count on, Pro Max is made for the long road ahead. And here's the best part. It comes with an 8-year warranty. That's right, 8 years of confidence, mile after mile. Ask SpeedMax. Drive far. Drive strong. For more info, call 860-436-4100 or buy online at digitire.com. At TEL, we know what it takes to succeed as an owner-operator because we were founded by one. The big secret? Affordable new trucks. New equipment keeps you moving, improves cash flow, and delivers reliability. For over 20 years, we've helped drivers take the next step in their careers. Call TEL at 866-404-6289 and use promo code OVERNIGHT100. We look forward to meeting you. Did you miss an episode of the Steve Summers Overnight Drive? Or just want to relive a little bit of the magic? Don't worry. You can download the Steve Summers Overnight Drive wherever you get your podcasts. Don't miss a single second of the show that was recently named one of the best late night shows in America. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Steve Summers Overnight Drive so you don't miss a single episode. The Steve Summers Overnight Drive. Available wherever you get your podcasts or online at overnightdriveradio.com.
The Overnight Drive with Steve Summers. Live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios. Call Steve now. 844-844-3388. That's 844-844-3388.
It was the ugly way to start the new week for a lot of folks in Michigan this past morning, with ultimately more than 100 vehicles smashing into each other or sliding off the interstate. Lake effect snow bands blanketing the state. The massive pileup Monday morning, prompting Michigan State Police to close both directions of Interstate 196 just southwest of Grand Rapids, while officials worked to remove all those vehicles, including more than 30 semi-trailer trucks. Police said there were numerous injuries, but amazingly no fatalities reported. Just the latest impact of the major winter storm moving across the country. National Weather Service had issued warnings about either extremely cold temperatures or the potential for winter storms across several states, starting in northern Minnesota, stretching south and east, Wisconsin, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York. Of course, it was a day earlier. We saw that snow as far south as the Florida Panhandle. Made it harder for football players to hang on to the ball during those playoff games in Massachusetts and Chicago. Of course, we know that forecasters warned freezing temperatures overnight into Tuesday this morning across much of north central Florida, once again in southeastern Georgia. The Ottawa County Sheriff's Office in Michigan said multiple crashes and jackknife semis had been reported, along with numerous slide-offs. Stranded motorists were actually being bused to the Hudsonville High School, where they could call for help or try to arrange a ride. Wow. Meanwhile, it was a day earlier. 6 injuries, 1 serious, involving 11 vehicles that closed a stretch of I-78 in Berks County in Pennsylvania there for about 7 hours. Pennsylvania State Police said the driver of a tractor-trailer was driving too fast for conditions on the snow-covered surface of I-78. State police say the driver lost control, hit the center concrete barrier. 10 more vehicles, including 3 additional tractor trailers, then crashed into the first vehicle. According to police, 6 drivers and passengers taken to area hospitals. 10 of the 11 vehicles were towed from the scene. All right, state police say applicable traffic conditions, citations will be issued against that initial tractor-trailer driver, they said, who was driving too fast for conditions. Again, shut down that interstate for about 7 hours there. What's the rush? I don't know. Maybe the fact that the clock is ticking, the ELD doesn't stop. The hours, are we pushing too hard during these wintry conditions? Hey, what's going on, Grump?
Oh, not much. Congratulations on your win. Yeah, buddy. That was a good game, man. I think Big Ed, he's going to call in tomorrow night. I think he's on his way to Florida. So he said something about giving old Carson Beck a Big Ed ass whooping. So he said he'd call in tomorrow night.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, he's got something going on. But
I hear you.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, these damn idiots and the crash that happened behind me. And, I was in my pickup truck and I was sliding. It was just, and I wasn't going but probably 15 mile an hour, but all the traffic and stuff. And I started kind of sliding on a hill, and I gently, eased it into 4-wheel drive. And, that front end assist there really helped out a lot, getting control of it. But I'm looking in the mirror and I got through this construction. It was over in Columbia, Missouri, and here come this dumbass in a truck, barreling ass on all that ice and stuff, and wound up hitting a Jersey barrier and then coming back out on the road. And they just had a big old pile up there. When I went over and got my part, and I came back, I was going westbound on I-70 back in Columbia, and it just backed up forever because of that dumbass. It's like it doesn't register to some people that it's extremely slick, slow down, and and I'm not, they can always take that extension, that inclement weather extension on their log, to get them wherever they need to be. So I don't know if it's the logbook or just lack of experience. It just I don't know. I ran from Kansas City to Ogden, Utah for 10 years, twice a week, out and back, out and back, out and back. And going across Wyoming, I would say 99.9% of the crashes that was out there, going across Elk and places like that, was people that hadn't driven a truck probably more than 6 months. And majority of them were, at that point in time, were foreigners of some sort. But it just, they just don't slow down. But anyway, it was a good game. I enjoyed it. Indiana earned it. That was just they just played like they have all year, But this deal that's going on up in Minneapolis, when they walked in that church, it's hard to believe that these people would actually violate the sanctity of somebody's place of worship.
Yep.
Do you honestly think that BLM and the rest of them blabbermouth morons that was there with them, and I'm going to be truthful about it, when you look at some of the women that were there, they're a bunch of lard-ass white women that needs a man in their life, something fierce. Either that or they're just a damn lesbian or something, I don't know. But when you look at them, they're bored out of their freaking mind. It's like they think that they're doing something that's just and right. All they're doing is creating more crap to fulfill some dumbass feeling that they have. They want to help somebody. They're helping these immigrants. No, you're helping a bunch of damn rapists and child molesters and people like that by disrupting the ICE stuff. But when they walked in that church, though, I look for that changed the game right there, because number one, they violated the Faith Act. That's Joe Biden wrote that, or he didn't write it, but he signed it into law. That was to protect these abortion rights people that from being harassed and crap like that. So when they violated that, the Religious Freedom Act, they violated that. Civil rights, And when them two goons was standing there at the door and wouldn't let anybody else get, outside, guess what that was? That's kidnapping. When you're holding people against their will, you just screwed the pooch on that one, buddy. I mean, that's just the way it is. And there's going to be a ton of charges, but the one thing that it did, when them charges are handed down, it opened up whoever in the hell is paying them clowns and the people themselves that walked into that church, especially that lady, that one blabbermouth lady. She's a lawyer. That black lady that was running her damn big old chops. She's a lawyer, and I guarantee you that Bondi right now is writing something up to get her stripped out of the bars. Through the ethics committee there at the bar. And if they strip her of her, right to practice law, that would just be fantastic. I mean, and then if she's attached to a law firm or something like that, the people need to sue the hell out of the law firm. It just changed the whole narrative of everything when they walked into that church showing their ass the way they did. Steve, the funny thing is they wouldn't do that down south. Go down to the Bible Belt. I'm serious. Let them walk down to go in down there and see one of them churches and see what happens, down there. I mean, people in the Bible Belt, they take their religion serious, and that's their sanctuary. Their sanctuary. If you got people out in the parking lot that didn't make it inside, they're out there drinking beer, and I guarantee you there's firearms in that car. Inside they might have a Bible in one pocket and a damn pistol in the other, but they are armed.
Right.
So they hit these targets like up in Minneapolis that they know nothing's going to happen to them. You didn't even see any cops show up. And that's something else that I would be suing the hell out of the city for violating my civil rights for not dispatching any police officers over there for their safety. But you're never going to see them morons like that go into some place in the South, in the Bible Belt and other places and try to push that garbage that they're talking down there. They're not going to do it because, number one, they'd get their damn neck broke. I mean, people ain't going to put up with that crap in places like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm not religious per se. I have my, in Christ and everything, but I don't practice it. I don't go to church. But I guarantee you, if there was a group of idiots like that was going to be raiding churches in my town, I'd be one of them standing there with a damn shotgun at the front door. And nah, I don't think so. This is their safe space. Why don't you go back to yours? Since they were the ones that raised hell about their safe spaces. I mean,
right.
You go to college campuses and everything, they got it drawn off on the this imaginary little box that they had drawn there. You can't come here because this is my safe space. Bringing in their emotional support snakes and rats and every damn thing else. I've never seen such a bunch of phony people in my damn life. It's like they're a product of this make-believe universe that they think they ought to be in. This perfect little world where they run every damn thing. And what pisses me off more than anything, Steve, is they are such a small percentage of the people in this country. I mean, they make up a very, very, very minute part of the people in this country. Why ain't people whooping their damn asses and sending them home? I mean, it just burns you up to see this crap, that a small group like that can get out there and throw frozen water bottles, beating on people's pickup trucks. I'd lay $100 bill on the front of my pickup truck, say, see if you can grab it. I mean, it just burns your ass to see the crap that goes on right now. And it's these liberal courts also. They'll write, these judges and these activist judges will tell ICE and the cops, every damn thing they can't do. But do you see anybody when they go into court with this, some of these morons here telling them, hey, you shouldn't have done it? Hell no, normally they release them. They just turn them loose. Well, don't do it again, okay? Okay, I won't. And then they're out there throwing more damn water bottles. When it's sub-zero, you don't go out there with a bullhorn and tell them to disperse. You go out there with a damn big-ass water cannon and you start hosing people down. When they turn into a popsicle, you roll their ass off in the grass somewhere. And when they thaw out in the spring, they'll think, damn, maybe I shouldn't have done that. It's ridiculous, man. It really is. But I'm sick of seeing it. I really am. I want to see people with some ball bats in their hands and just walk up and just start ringing some damn bells. Just get rid of these morons. Just run their asses back to their basements or wherever in the hell they crawled on, whatever rock they crawled underneath. You know, I'm just sick of it, man. It's just, you can't. I passed up a load going up there, you know, and
yeah, well, I mean, that's my question. When, I mean, is the trucking industry, is there any, I mean, are people hesitant to take loads up there right now?
I think they are, because we couldn't find anybody that wanted to go up there. They just didn't want to get involved in that mess up there. When they, you know, when they called me and said, hey, you know, when you want to go up to Minneapolis, I said, you know, it comes out of, you know, right by my house there, and it's less than 500 miles up there. He said, you know, we'll give you $3,000. I said, all right, you give me $3,000. You pay all the damages to my truck when, you know, when people throwing damn water bottles and stuff to it, and you bail me out of jail. I'll go. I said, nah, I don't think you're the right guy to go up there. I said, no, I'm not, because I've been damned to somebody. If they, you know, somebody's chunking a water bottle, I'm chunking lead back. That's a fact. You know, you're not going to harm me or what I work my ass off to pay for because of some idiotic belief that you think some rapist and some damn child molester has a right to roam our streets. That ain't happening. I mean, I will defend myself. That's just the way it is, and I'll take my chances with a damn jury. I mean, that's just the way everybody should have some kind of a mindset saying, you know, we're tired of this crap. You know, this is America. You know, the freedoms that we enjoy, we should be able to walk up and down the damn streets without a bunch of thugs and goons and these psycho bitches that are up there, you know, ranting and raving because they, you know, number one, they're too stupid to do anything else. I mean, it's turning your stomach, man. It really is. It's just, I don't know. I'm just sick of it, and I hope to hell a lot of other people get sick of it here, you know, for long. I don't stick my nose in businesses up there, but I guarantee you, if it was in my town, we'd be slugging it out in the damn streets. I don't give a rat's ass. Like I said, I'll take my chances with a jury. Ain't nobody going to run over me, my family, or you know, try to push that crap off on me. I just don't believe it. But anyway, man,
so now
that's about all I got for
we kind of wait and see if they're going to actually, I mean, you got the 1,500 troops on standby, and I don't know, is the president going to send them in there? But when you're talking, like, we were talking, what, wind chills 30, 40 below, are these dumbasses still going to be out there?
Yeah, they're going to be out there. You know, they would lose a toe, by God, to protect some illegal. But, you know, I don't know why in the hell the troops ain't already there. You know, and then you got Governor Wall's head, you know, that big goofy bastard. He said he's got the National Guard up there on standby and, you know, whether or not he needs them, you know, to help protect the people, you know, the people. Okay, he's talking about the illegals is what he's talking about. You know, they have no leg to stand on up there. I mean, not one damn leg to stand on. And if Trump is sitting around there waiting on them to have a change of heart, or maybe he's just waiting on the weather to get a little bit better. But now would be the time to send them in. Like I said, just, you know, fuel up super soakers and just go in there and just start drowning asses. I guarantee you, every time they stuck their head out of a door, turn that thing into a popsicle. They get tired of getting, you know, hypothermia every time you turn around and, you know, eventually go home. But
yeah,
I don't know, man. I think they could handle this a lot better, you know. And I listened to Noam. She was talking about that activist judge up there that already issued orders. I'd tell him to kiss it right off the bat. Say, no, you're not going to do this. You know, when we make arrests and send people in there for your adjudication, then you do whatever the hell you got to do, but you're not going to tell me how to act as a police officer. He don't have that authority. For anybody to walk up there and believe that damn judge who's sitting in a courtroom is going to stick his head out the window and say, hey, you can't do this, I don't want you doing that, I don't want you doing that. I'd hit that bastard with a snowball. So get back inside, you know.
Right.
You know.
Right.
I mean, there is no sense in that crap. You know, I mean, hell, I've dealt with, you know, when I was a cop, dealt with an idiot judge like that thought that, you know, he could just rule people's lives. I busted his ass for DUI one night, and we became real good friends. You know, he's like, oh, you ain't going to tell anybody, are you? You ain't going to, no, Judge, I'm not going to tell anybody, except the news. You know, I mean, You know, I mean, you know, they don't walk above water. You know, they somehow think that they're just because they were appointed to that position, that they have the right to tell the president of the United States, who was duly elected by we the freaking people, that he doesn't have a leg to stand on, and that their voice is what's going to be heard. No, hell no. That's judicial activism right there. You know, I don't know why in the hell they're not doing it. They ought to get them a recall going, or have them, haul their ass into Congress and have them testify on their political beliefs and things, because they sure as hell ain't following the law. But, I don't know. I don't think the Republicans have the stomach to do it, or the Naticals either. I think they just so much they go along to get along instead of getting off their ass and actually fighting back once in a while. So we'll see what happens for the
get some what do they call it? Intestinal fortitude, I believe. He mentioned several things that Don Lemon may be facing some of these charges. The Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights at the Department of Justice yesterday, Harmeet Dillon, announcing that they're planning to charge Don Lemon, the disgraced former CNN anchor. They're planning to charge him under something known as the Ku Klux Klan Act, which was a Reconstruction-era law enacted to combat terrorist activities by groups like the KKK. The impending charges stemming from his involvement when that group of anti-ICE activists stormed the church in Minneapolis Sunday, disrupting a religious service and intimidating worshipers there. Now, I'm not familiar. It says the Ku Klux Klan Act, formerly known as the Enforcement Act of 1871, prohibits conspiracies to threaten, injure, or intimidate individuals to prevent them from exercising their constitutional rights, including the free exercise of religion. Now, according to reports, Lemon not only accompanied the protesters, but had prior knowledge of their plans to target the church that was actually hosting a service at the time. Some have even alleged that he was the one that incited the protesters to actually target that church. Before the incident, Lemon is seen in his team's own footage discussing the secret operation with activists, confirming they had the church's address, even instructing his staff not to reveal the location. We're not going to give any information away. He's heard in one clip saying, the former CNN anchor also acknowledges, quote, "We don't know what's happening. We kind of do, but we don't know how it's going to play out, right?" Upon arrival, he directs the camera. "We're here. I think maybe if you just have it on the church." After the incident, Lemon claimed, "I didn't even know they were going to this church until we followed them there. Once the protest started in the church, we did an act of journalism," as he put it. Now, that lie has fueled the Department of Justice's case, with officials arguing Lemon's actions went beyond reporting and amounted to active participation in violating the congregants' civil rights. This past morning, Dillon appeared on the Benny Show to explain the legal implications here. The Klan Act is one of the most important federal civil rights statutes. It makes it illegal to terrorize and violate the civil rights of citizens. Whenever people conspire to do this, the Klan Act can be used. She emphasized that the full force of the federal government will be brought to bear on such disruptions, kind of drawing parallels to how the FACE Act has been used against pro-life protesters outside of abortion clinics. Everyone in the protest community needs to know that the fullest force of the federal government is going to come down and prevent this from happening. and we're going to put people away for a long time. Well, as Dylan noted, if peaceful pro-life grandmas can face felony charges for praying outside of clinics, then activists and so-called journalists who disrupt churches should expect the same accountability. So again, I'm not really familiar, never heard of that, but we'll see. Maybe not a good day. Don Lemon just made it easier for them to press these charges with his knowledge beforehand on video, then lying, saying he didn't know. We close out hour number one. Plenty of room for you at 844-844-3388.
Want to put your business on a brand that is heard in some of the biggest radio markets on some of the biggest radio stations in the United States? Or maybe you want to have your brand take advantage of the explosive growth in podcasting. Why not do both? The Steve Summers Overnight Drive offers the best of both worlds and is ready to put your business at the front of everyone's waking thoughts.
I'm sorry, am I moving too quickly for you?
Well, at least you'll be on their mind in there somewhere. For sure, the Steve Summers Overnight Drive was recently named one of the top 15 late-night shows in America. So advertising on the Steve Summers Overnight Drive will put you in front of the very clients you want to walk through your front door. Interested? Maybe you want to take a test drive, kick the tires, do a sample tasting, which might be kind of gross. Get details at overnightdriveradio.com or email rwild@lubricationspecialties.com. And let's put the Steve Summers Overnight Drive to work for you today.
Well, we're off the air. For good, I think.
Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system. Did you miss an episode of the Steve Summers Overnight Drive? Or just want to relive a little bit of the magic? Don't worry, you can download the Steve Summers Overnight Drive wherever you get your podcasts. Don't miss a single second of the show that was recently named one of the best late night shows in America. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Steve Summers Overnight Drive so you don't miss a single episode. The Steve Summers Overnight Drive, available wherever you get your podcasts or online at overnightdriveradio.com.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem called a federal judge's order limiting federal agents' actions against peaceful protesters in Minnesota a little ridiculous, saying it did not change how immigration enforcement is conducted.
That judge's order didn't change anything for how we're operating on the ground because it's basically telling us to do what we've already been doing.
The judge barred tactics like pepper spray or detaining drivers without cause amid ongoing protests over ICE operations in Minneapolis. President Trump is not ruling out using force in efforts to acquire Greenland.
In a phone interview with NBC News, Trump was asked if the U.S. would use force to seize the Danish territory, to which he said no comment. Over the weekend, the president said he would put 10% tariffs in place on Denmark and other European countries until a deal was reached for the U.S. to get Greenland. Meanwhile, Trump has said because he hasn't won the Nobel Peace Prize for what he said was stopping 8 wars plus, he'll focus on what's good for the U.S. and will stop purely thinking of peace. I'm Wendy Swanson.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is defending President Trump's plan to impose tariffs on Denmark and European allies who do not support the U.S. taking Greenland.
Appearing on NBC's Meet the Press, Bessent argued that tariffs are a matter of national security importance.
It is a strategic decision by the president. This is a geopolitical decision, and he is able to use the economic might of the U.S. to avoid a hot war.
His comments come as the European Union was set to hold an emergency meeting to discuss President Trump's Greenland tariffs. On Sunday, EU leaders warned in a joint statement that the tariffs undermine transatlantic relations, adding, "We will continue to stand united in response." I'm Mark Mayfield.
A third illegal alien detained by ICE has died. Officials say 36-year-old Victor Manuel Diaz of Nicaragua was found unresponsive at Camp East Montana, located inside of Fort Bliss in Texas. He was later pronounced dead. ICE calls it a suicide, but the cause is still under full investigation. From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
No matter who we are or where we come from, we all experience difficulties in life.
Military veterans know that sometimes it takes strength and determination to make it through.
Whether it's obvious physical challenges or struggles on the inside, it takes strength to ask for help when you need it.
I knew that I had to get support, not just for me, but for the sake of my wife and kids.
Talking about it has helped me feel more like myself again.
Honestly, it was hard to open up at first, but it's changed my life for the better.
Learn how veterans like us have reached out for help. And hear stories of strength and recovery at MakeTheConnection.net.
In Lakewood, California, a 52-year-old man fatally shot his wife and 17-year-old daughter on Thursday before taking his own life inside their home. Deputies say a 19-year-old daughter survived and was unharmed, and say there is no ongoing threat as the investigation continues. Texas Governor Greg Abbott is the biggest money man in Texas politics, with more than $105 million in his campaign war chest. Republican strategist Bill Miller expects him to spread that cash around before the midterms.
$100 million does sound like a lot of money, and it certainly is for one candidate. But if he starts spreading it around the state, it won't last long.
He says the governor has his eyes on Houston, which he wants to turn dark red. Travelers without a real ID will soon have another option. Beginning February 1st, TSA's new Confirm ID program allows passengers to verify their identity using biographic or biometric information. The optional process costs about $45 and is recommended before arriving at the airport. The Army-Navy football game is a classic rivalry.
Now, President Trump says he plans to sign an executive order that would give the annual event an exclusive television window so no other postseason games could be played at the same time. Trump called the game one of our greatest American traditions and criticized the proposed expanded college football playoff for possibly pushing it aside. It's not clear what legal authority such an order would carry. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
And I'm Anthony Lucero, USA Radio News.
Would you know where to turn if you or a loved one became paralyzed? For thousands of families, the National Paralysis Resource Center has been that lifeline. But now federal funding's at risk. Sherman Gillums Jr., a partially paralyzed Marine veteran with the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation, explains why.
This is about more than just a budget line. It's about veterans, caregivers, and families, real people who need these resources to live more productive and independent lives.
Learn more at ChristopherReeve.org.
Want to put your business on a brand that is heard in some of the biggest radio markets on some of the biggest radio stations in the United States? Or maybe you want to have your brand take advantage of the explosive growth in podcasting. Why not do both? The Steve Summers Overnight Drive offers the best of both worlds and is ready to put your business at the front of everyone's waking thoughts.
I'm sorry, am I moving too quickly for you?
Well, at least you'll be on their mind in there somewhere. For sure, the Steve Summers Overnight Drive was recently named one of the top 15 late-night shows in America. So advertising on the Steve Summers Overnight Drive will put you in front of the very clients you want to walk through your front door. Interested? Maybe you want to take a test drive, kick the tires, do a sample tasting, which might be kind of gross. Get details at overnightdriveradio.com or email rwild@lubricationspecialties.com. And let's put the Steve Summers Overnight Drive to work for you today.
Well, we're off the air. For good, I think.
The Overnight Drive with Steve Summers. Live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios. Call Steve now. 844-844-3388. That's 844-844-3388.
Just like that, away we go. Hey, we get a brand new day underway. Time zone to time zone, 20th day of January. Yes, indeed. We turned the page on the calendar. Good to have you with us. Hope your week's off to a good start, right? Got the hard part behind us. Monday in the rearview mirror. Time to get to work. And hello to John, checking in from Cambridge, Ontario, Canada this morning. How cold is it up there, John? As cold as we are. I know you're colder. Daniel, morning, sitting here in Longview, Washington. sitting here waiting on a load, hopefully. Yeah, typical union. 40 degrees, though. Weather's pretty nice. At least I'm not in that sub-zero freeze box of Minnesota. Michael said, Steve finally wins a football game. Called Indiana. Yeah, thanks a bunch. What you got there? You're talking about these drivers going too fast for conditions in the snow. He said the problem with a lot of these drivers are they're letting the ELD dictate how they drive. They're racing the clock to make every second count. And while the ELD is not the only problem, it's amplified the problem of no flexibility. It's a huge problem. Yeah, Congress knew this was going to happen. They didn't care. Yeah, look how many accidents are caused because drivers are running flat out. Yeah, pedal to the metal, foot to the floor. Yeah, now they're not properly trained, and they're not going to fix the problem because they won't get these kind of drivers off the nation's highway. All right, good to have you with us. Daniel, thanks for chiming in. What we got? Let's see, a couple of other listener friends on board. Hello to Gary Montgomery. Billy just joins us. Good to have you with us once again. We were talking troops. I had asked the Grump, do you think the president's actually going to order the 1,500 troops there into Minneapolis? Shorty said Trump's going to send in troops from Alaska. You know, those that deal with all this bitterly cold weather stuff. And I see that is a true statement, apparently. Yeah, those 1,500 may soon be in Minnesota as the lefty continue protesting the immigration operations. And the fraud scandal linked to the Somali community gets deeper with each passing day. Senior U.S. officials speaking to Fox News said the administration is preparing the troops for possible deployment. And the U.S. Army's 11th Airborne Division, which is based in Alaska, specializes in cold weather and mountain warfare, has been given the prepare to deploy orders. You know, of course, leftist, mobilized, protesting immigrations and customs enforcement. The whole Renee Good incident when she weaponized her car as he and other agents were being blocked from performing their work there. These protesters have brought a lot more tension to situations involving ICE officers in Minnesota. Leaders being criticized regarding the rampant fraud, of course, that continues to go on. In a statement to Fox, Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell said the Department of War is always prepared to execute the orders of the commander-in-chief if called upon. Now, the president has threatened to use the Insurrection Act if the Democrat state continues allowing these lefties to attack the ICE agents. His quote via a social media post was, if the corrupt politicians of Minnesota don't obey the law and stop these professional agitators and insurrectionists from attacking the patriots of ICE, who are only trying to do their job, I will institute the Insurrection Act, which many presidents have done before me, and quickly put an end to this travesty taking place in that once great state. Right now, I see that there are apparently some 1,360 individuals sitting in jail in Minnesota that have ICE detainers. And the state refuses to release these criminals to ICE. Now, the update yesterday, apparently they announced a major sweep in Minneapolis on Monday, revealing Homeland Security has removed some 2,500 criminal illegal aliens tied to violent offenses and repeat predatory crimes across the city. Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin intensified the pressure on local leaders, demanding that Mayor Fry immediately surrender the 1,360 additional criminal aliens that are sitting in city jails right now with ICE detainers. Rather than releasing them back in to Minneapolis neighborhoods, she appeared on Fox News this past morning demanding Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Fry stop releasing these criminal aliens back on the streets where they continue committing crimes. Yeah, demanding the city honor the more than 1,360 immigration detainers against criminal aliens being held in their custody. It's common sense. Criminal illegal should not be released back onto the streets to terrorize more innocent Americans. Now, Homeland Security Secretary Kirsty Noem added that the agency has arrested more than 10,000 criminal illegal aliens who were killing Americans, hurting children, raining terror in Minneapolis. Tim Walz and Jacob Fry refused to protect their own people and instead protect criminals. In the last 6 weeks, our Homeland Security law enforcement have arrested 3,000 criminal illegal aliens, including vicious murderers, rapists, child pedophiles, incredibly dangerous individuals. Yeah, a huge victory for public safety. Now, McLaughlin also appeared on CNN over the weekend, said nothing is going to stop ICE from putting American families, children, and American lives first. Federal officials say this operation in Minneapolis is far from over. Now, Minneapolis is going to remain a focal point until every criminal criminal alien in local custody is turned over to federal authorities. Now, they both framed the crackdown as a test of whether city and state leaders are willing to put public safety ahead of politics. Homeland Security and ICE are going to continue this surge until Minneapolis stops releasing these offenders back into the community. Wow. So it goes on and on. Around the country, 844-844-3388. Oh, we'll get to some other industry headlines coming up in the hour ahead. First, let's get to Eagle, see what's happening out there. Morning, Eagle. Are you staying warm?
Yeah, I'm staying warm. Like I said, I'm trying to stay away from Texas from what I'm hearing. I'm not liking what I'm seeing, so yeah, I'll probably stay out on the road this week because, you've been talking about it, and they've been talking about it. I've been listening to the Texas radio stations while I was here in Georgia, and they saying that this storm could be pretty bad in Dallas area, Oklahoma, with that cold and the cold air and the moisture. It could have some serious ice in the Dallas, Texas area and in other areas. So I don't want nothing to do with that. So I'll probably stay out on the road for another week or so before I go home. Hopefully the weather will be a little bit different by the time the last week, and then I try to get ready. Hopefully February, get ready for Daytona. But yeah, like I say, I knew I had jinxed myself, Steve. We did good for I had told you we had done good for the last 2 months of the year. November and December was pretty warm all over the country. We really didn't have no cold and stuff like that. But I always remember, we still had January and February, and it looked like these next 2 months is gonna be rough. I don't know when that groundhog's supposed to come out, but I got a feeling when that groundhog come out, he gonna say it's gonna be another couple of weeks of winter. The way things are going right now, it's not looking good. With it snowing in Florida,
right?
And that's never a good sign when you got snow in Florida. Even though it's not that much. But yeah, Steve, before I get to the accident that I was just talking to you about last night, and when I turned on my phone today, I couldn't believe what I seen. 100 vehicle accident.
Yeah.
In Michigan. That's a damn shame. But yeah, before I get to that, I want to get back to to the coaching deal right quick. And I want to say one quick thing. I've already said this a couple of weeks ago about Indiana. I want to make one quick note with them right quick. That's gonna go down as one of the greatest victories in college football, any sport history, Steve. Indiana, people don't realize that was the worst college program in football. They had the worst record in college football over the last decades. And then to go from being the worst, they went from worst to first. And that's hard to do. And they not only did they do that, they won all 16 games. So you got to get in, whether you like Indiana or not. You gotta because they went through some tough teams and they showed what they was all about. So I didn't think Indiana was gonna be able to do what they did, and they definitely did it. So all I can say is congratulations, and that's, like I say, that's one of the biggest sports stories in football history, whether college or pro. Because, like I'm gonna say, repeat that again. They went from worst to first because they was the worst college football team in the history of college football, and now they're national champions. So, congratulations. But Steve, another thing we've been talking over the last couple of days. College football, NFL football is starting to be like college football. They had another coach get fired today, and this coach made it to the playoffs.
Right.
He played just on Sunday. He was in a playoff game, and now today he's in the unemployment line. It's hard to believe. I think he won 10 or 11 games with the Buffalo Bills. So I looked at it today. There are 10 coaches. I think they said there were 10 coaches, 10 coaching changes this year. And there's only 32 teams in the league, and they got 10 teams that are looking for coaches right now. So these owners of these teams are, like I say, if you either going to win games or you're going to be out the door. And that includes people that's got Super Bowl championships. Coaches Harbaugh got kicked out of town. Mike Tomlin got kicked out of Pittsburgh. Both of these are Super Bowl winning coaches. And then both of them was in the unemployment line. So these owners are determined to win ball games. And if you can't get the job done, they'll find somebody else who will. I think Buffalo made a bad mistake. That guy was a good coach. It's not his fault that the referee cheated them out of the game. The same as Harbaugh. The man missed the field goal, and Harbaugh lost his job. Both of those guys should still be coaching in the same state, in the same team. But these owners don't see it that way. It's gonna be hard. There's very few coaches that can replace that guy at Buffalo. That guy's a good coach, and he didn't deserve what he got today. But I think he'll turn up with somebody else's team. Pittsburgh Steelers might be interested in him, and there's a lot of coaching vacancies. The Miami Dolphins, Baltimore, they still looking for a coach. So I believe that he's gonna turn up with somebody's team because he's too good of a coach to be in the unemployment line. But that's what sports has turned into, Steve. Win or get the hell out. We can find somebody else who can get the job done. That's basically what there's too much money on the line now to let a guy hang around. If he's not winning games, that's what it looks like. Now, getting to this situation with the accidents, like Grunt was saying, Steve, and like I just told you last night, we got too many inexperienced drivers out here. These companies are turning loose these drivers with no snow experience, no winter driving experience. You can't train a guy such as Swift or Warner or whoever, train him in warm weather in the summer. And then, in April, May, June, and July, and then give him the keys to the damn truck. And he ain't never drove. Some of these guys grew up in the South, Alabama, Georgia, Florida. They never even seen snow before, except on television. And you're going to get a guy keys to an 80,000-pound truck and send him to Michigan or Ohio or Pennsylvania, which places where it's snow at, with no experience. And what do you think is going to happen when you put an inexperienced driver on ice? Bad things are going to happen, and that's what we've seen today. There's no excuse, Steve. Like I say, I've been around trucking for a long time, and I don't think I've ever. I know you've been around long. I've never heard of a 100-vehicle accident before. When I looked at the video of this today, it's totally ridiculous for all these trucks and cars to be involved in over 100 vehicles. Did you see that video today?
I haven't seen the video. I've seen some of the still photographs, and total carnage. I can't believe there were no fatalities.
Yeah, that's what I can't believe. Yeah, it happened in Grand Rapids, Michigan. But yeah, you need them during your break. Yeah, maybe you could take a look at that. The video of it. It's ridiculous. I don't know how many trucks was involved in it, but it's a lot. And trucks in the ditches, jackknife, the whole deal. They said that it was a whiteout blizzard. I don't know what caused it, but all it takes is for one or two cars to make a mistake, or a truck to make a mistake, and then you got chaos. So that's why I was just telling you last night. When I see, like I say, what I've learned over the years, Steve, when I'm driving down the road and I start seeing trucks in the ditch. When you see a truck in the ditch, jackknife, or on the shoulder jackknife, that's a sign that something is not right with the road conditions. When I start seeing, that's a good sign that you need to get the hell off the road. When you start seeing trucks in the middle of the ditch, jackknife, that's a sign that the road conditions are not good, and you need to find a place to pull off until conditions get better. And but here's the dumbest mistake that these idiots make, Steve, and I know you've seen it up there in Cincinnati. Is these guys that want to drive past the snow plow. These guys are out there doing the work, snow plowing the road, and you got a knucklehead that wants to drive by this man. He's trying to make the road conditions better for you, so you can so you won't spin out. He's putting salt on the ground and the grime and whatever else. And yet you still see people driving by these snow plows as they making their way down the road. And in the left-hand lane, that's the worst lane to be in, because the right lane is the one in most states. That's the lane that they're going to try to get ready first. So you want to stay in the right-hand lane as much as possible. If you jump in the left-hand lane, you just asking for trouble, especially if the road hasn't been cleaned or wiped. There's no telling what's under that snow. It's probably ice, and that's where these idiots spin out, get jumping in the left lane, because they, like you said, they got these electronic logs, and they got these dispatchers that are pushing them to the limit. Like I told you, Steve, I made myself a promise a long time ago, and I told you just this last night. If a dispatcher tells me, like I said, I'll call him up on the phone. That's the least you can do. If you feel like it's not safe, don't try to hide it from the guy. Don't pull off to a truck stop, and then the next morning they wake up and find out that you've been in a truck stop all night long, and they didn't know that the load was going to be delayed. No, call your dispatch and tell the guy, hey, the roads are not safe, and I'm pulling off in a truck stop. And if you got somebody else that feel like they can do the job, hey, I'll be sitting at the truck stop. I'll drop the trailer in the middle of the parking lot, and he can do his thing, and he can get it to his destination if he think he can do it. But my truck is not moving until I know road conditions are better. And then you just talked about it last night. No company or no dispatcher can force you on the road with this termination threat. If you, like I said, get you a recorder, get whatever you got to get. If anybody tells you that you have to operate a truck in those conditions, they can be terminated from their job, and because nobody should be forced to get on the road and have an accident and kill yourself or kill somebody else. So that's my advice to these new drivers out there nowadays, is to be as safe as possible, and don't let nobody push you to the limit, because no paycheck is worth losing your life. You want to go back home to your family in the long run. Now, one other thing right quick, Steve, I wanted to talk to you about, and I thought I had seen the last of this guy. I thought I had seen and heard the last of this guy, but this guy's nothing but a troublemaker, just like the other lady that was affiliated with him. And everywhere he goes, it seems like trouble comes around. And that's that Don Lemon guy. I told you that a long time ago, when CNN should have got rid of him, and that's exactly what they did. They dismissed him because he's nothing but a racist, just like Joy Reid is a racist, and Al Sharpton, all three of them are nothing but racist, and they don't do nothing but create havoc everywhere they go. What he did in that church, what Don Lemon did in that church the other day on Sunday, was uncalled for, because he has such hatred towards Donald Trump and the Republican Party. He did what he did, but he might have got himself in some serious hot water, because from what I'm understanding, the Department of Justice is looking into Don Lemon, and that's exactly what they're supposed to do. And hopefully he'll end up behind bars alongside Ilhan Omar and the rest of them losers up there in Minnesota. And I thank you for taking my call.
There you go. All right. Covered the bases there. All right. Thank you much, Eagle. About an hour ago, I saw that the Indiana Weather Online saying that there's big-time possible travel impacts right there in the Bloomington area tonight, due to the excessive partying and celebrations in Bloomington. Yeah, some travel impacts are possible. They said, great job tonight, Hoosiers. If you are partying tonight, please do so responsibly. But they're just obviously highlighting that area right there around Bloomington. A lot of people may be out and about late. And, technically, I guess the bars are still open. Bars shut down at, like 2 a.m. I mean, even though it's a weeknight, Monday night, I think there's going to be a lot of people maybe calling in sick for a Tuesday morning, a little hungover after the victory there, national championship, first ever. Congratulations, Indiana. All right, be careful out there, folks. And of course, Eagle mentioned another coach. Anybody see that coming? Bills Mafia officially down a head coach. Bills fired Sean McDermott after 9 seasons yesterday. Of course, the final of which ended Saturday with that overtime divisional round playoff loss to the Broncos. McDermott finishes his time in Buffalo with a regular season record, 98 wins, 50 losses, a postseason mark of 8-8. Now, they said the Bills will keep the general manager, Brandon Beane, and he will lead the coach for the next head coach. Lead the search, I guess. Of course, Saturday's crushing 33-30 loss in overtime had plenty of controversy, as we know, but I didn't see that coming.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. The Pentagon has ordered around 1,500 active duty troops to be ready for possible deployment to Minnesota amid intensifying anti-ICE protests. President Trump has threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act, but recently said he does not see a need to use it right now, and no deployment decision has yet been made. Federal authorities are cracking down on interference during immigration enforcement operations.
A Jacksonville woman is facing federal charges after investigators say she punched a Florida Highway Patrol trooper during a joint ICE operation. Authorities say Jennifer Cruz exited her vehicle and struck the trooper in the face. She was arrested Thursday and later released on bond. Ron Warner, USA Radio News.
7 police officers were killed in Guatemala after gangs attacked during a prison crackdown. Authorities regained control and freed the hostages, but violence spread around Guatemala City, prompting increased military and police operations. From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Business owners, are you paying high phone bills for old school systems and lousy service? StrongTel cuts your phone bills in half and turns every phone you own into a feature-rich business system. Sean Roddy, CEO of Hennings Brothers Drilling, had this to say: "We've been a StrongTel customer for over 10 years. It's great. It even includes an intercom with video to our equipment yard. I can watch live from anywhere with my smartphone. I'd recommend StrongTel to anyone. Never miss a customer call again with your StrongTel business system. StrongTel is a proud iTex partner and always welcomes your iTex dollars. You'll get award-winning StrongTel service, a business-class phone system, and cut your phone bill in half. Visit strongtel.com. That's StrongTel, StrongTel.com. It's StrongTel.
Did you miss an episode of the Steve Summers Overnight Drive? Or just want to relive a little bit of the magic? Don't worry. You can download the Steve Summers Overnight Drive wherever you get your podcasts. Don't miss a single second of the show that was recently named one of the best late-night shows in America. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Steve Summers Overnight Drive so you don't miss a single episode. The Steve Summers Overnight Drive, available wherever you get your podcasts or online at overnightdriveradio.com.
Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system.
Diesel owners know if you take care of your engine, it'll return the favor. Hot Shot secret formulates additives that help you prevent problems and boost performance. Diesel Extreme cleans internal and external injector deposits, and EDT increases fuel economy by up to 7.3%, scientifically proven by third-party testing. Add Hot Shot secret at your next fill-up to get the most out of your diesel. Available nationwide at truck stops, farm and automotive stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX 15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
Want to put your business on a brand that is heard in some of the biggest radio markets on some of the biggest radio stations in the United States? Or maybe you want to have your brand take advantage of the explosive growth in podcasting. Why not do both? The Steve Summers Overnight Drive offers the best of both worlds and is ready to put your business at the front of everyone's waking thoughts.
I'm sorry, am I moving too quickly for you?
Well, at least you'll be on their mind in there somewhere. For sure, the Steve Summers Overnight Drive was recently named one of the top 15 late-night shows in America. So advertising on the Steve Summers Overnight Drive will put you in front of the very clients you want to walk through your front door. Interested? Maybe you want to take a test drive, kick the tires, do a sample tasting, which might be kind of gross. Get details at overnightdriveradio.com or email rwild@lubricationspecialties.com. And let's put the Steve Summers Overnight Drive to work for you today.
Well, we're off the air. For good, I think.
Because Channel 19's a little congested. Call Steve now at 844-844-3388. The Overnight Drive.
According to spaceweather.com, at the moment they say the solar storm is subsiding a bit. Now, what was a severe G4 geomagnetic storm when a super fast coronal mass ejection hit the Earth is now subsiding. We'll continue to see G1 to G3 storms intermittently on into our Tuesday here as the Earth's magnetic field kind of settles back into a less stormy state. High-latitude skywatchers should be able to photograph auroras for the next 24 hours as the solar wind continues to blow faster than 800 kilometers a second in the wake of that CME. Apparently, the solar storm arrived a little earlier than predicted. The impact was perfectly timed for Europe, they tell us. The geomagnetic storm started just after nightfall in the EU, while the new moon provided dark skies for long exposure photography, and some of the photos coming out are just absolutely brilliant, astounding. Let's see, fantastic show, unbelievable in France, according to one photographer there. The auroras were actually visible to the naked eye, with nice green and red colors, but obviously if you set your camera on a long exposure, the camera picks up things that you cannot see with the naked eye, and it's just beautiful. I have seen some posts from here in the lower 48. Beautiful red sky over Washington State. Somebody posted a few hours ago, so there you go. Meanwhile, around the country, plenty of room for you at 844-844-3388. And hello, Scrapyard.
What's happening, Captain? Y'all shut that freezer door up there. You're about to drive us out down here.
I'm telling you. I'm with you.
Yeah, I just got south of Fayetteville on my return trip, and it's 16 degrees Frankenstein up here. I stopped at the truck stop to take on fuel earlier and saw something going across there. I went out there and looked. It was a possum wearing a parka. Woo, mercy. But Eagle is correct on what he was saying about force dispatch. You can find on for like Android and iPhone the phone call recorder. Get that and install it on your phone and engage it every time you have a business-related call. And if a dispatcher tries to force you out during inclement weather where the roads are nowhere near safe, that is no longer, from what I gather, a misdemeanor. That is a jailable offense. If they threaten you to the point that you have to get out on the road, they can actually be jailed for that now. And under sort of safety acts and all that related to drivers, and force dispatch is they can't do it legally, and don't let them bulldog you. Second of all, these younger drivers that they put out here don't have the mindset. They watch too many of that Fast and Furious movies and want to get out here and drive like crazy, and have not received the proper training. And on one element of the truck that it's dangerous to use if you're jackknifing, but the trailer brake lever, I did it, if you remember back in 2012 when the state of Arkansas got shut down due to that big blizzard that hit down here, the snow, sleet, and ice.
Right.
And I ran 49, didn't know it was shut down. I made it up, went to Springdale and came back, and there was well over 100 trucks from Fort Smith or from Alma to Springdale that were upside down in the ditch or watered up in the Big Knot or off down in gullies because they missed the bridge. A lot of people got hurt and killed. And I ended up, the truck kept jackknifing on me as I was trying to come down these real steep hills. And I was just basically going at idle crawl, and it would pick up like 30 mile an hour and start jackknifing. And the only thing that I could do was grab that trailer brake lever and slam it for like a second or so and then let off of it to basically throw an anchor out. It's not for the faint of the heart, and it's not for a greenhorn, but it can be implemented if you think it through. So if conditions get that bad, find some place to hole up. Don't get out there and it's not worth your life and all that over some daggum scratch. Don't even do it and all that. And for all of y'all that we thoughts and prayers and all that, having to put Miss Lucy down, I thank you.
Yeah.
She was a really good dog and all that. It hurts and all that because the man who owned her next door, I was training her to be his service animal because he's former law enforcement with extreme PTSD.
Wow. And
two little stair-step kids. And so I had been working with that dog for months on end to train it to be of some help to him and to his wife and kids.
Wow.
So it is what it is, and all of it hurts, but that's life. And other than that, I wish y'all all well. Y'all stay warm and stay safe, please. I don't mind talking bad about you. Just don't want to hear anything bad happen to you.
Thank you very much, Scrapyard. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm right on board with you. It's shut the barn door up there, Canada. Come on, enough already. With that, I see the forecast for Lake Erie. They're saying Lake Erie will be locked up by the end of this week, a.k.a. frozen over. Ice on Erie is spreading fast. It's about to speed up even more with an even colder blast of Arctic air coming in Friday and through the weekend. This could easily end up being our coldest week since January of 2018. When we've seen temperatures like this in the past, ice formation takes off quickly. Sometimes soaring toward that seasonal average of 94% coverage And no, the lake definitely does not freeze that much every year, but Wednesday, the gusty winds in the forecast may shuffle the ice around a bit, breaking it up and pushing more of it toward the eastern basin of the lake. But the real story comes Friday through Sunday with calmer winds and brutally cold air. It will be ideal conditions for rapid ice growth. All right, if you've been waiting for Lake Erie to lock up, this is the week it happens. Be careful Wednesday with those winds if you're thinking about getting out on the ice anyway. Stay warm. The big freeze is in full effect. All righty. Until this past, I had heard nothing about it. Today is like an anniversary day. You realize? January 20th. The swearing of the president. 1 year, right, for the president? I guess, at first I thought, is this somebody just trying to pull something off? But they've actually got a full-fledged website entitled removetheregime.com. I clicked on the link, and it's real. I have no idea how many people have frequented it, but it says, today, January 20th, 2 o'clock this afternoon, Eastern, I guess that is, millions of liberals across the country are planning something huge. The chatter is, I'm as mad as hell, I'm not going to take it anymore. On January 20th, we're walking out to free America. Anybody planning on parking their truck today? You're going to walk out of your job? All right, then we'll be walking in to remove the regime. This is their plan. We're walking out of work. We're walking out of school. We're walking out of anywhere and everywhere because it's past time that we stop cooperating with fascism. Starting at 2 p.m., it says local time here. So I guess from time zone to time zone, we start a wave of walkouts across the nation. To send a clear message, we demand freedom from this hostile, lawless takeover of our country. Then we start walking in. Congress has the power to remove a tyrant from office. It's not an opinion, it's their sworn duty. So at 3 p.m., we start walking into local congressional offices and demand impeachment and removal. We are peacefully demanding that our representatives file their own articles of impeachment against Trump and senior Trump officials. We're demanding that they force a vote. Donald Trump has committed tyranny and obstruction of justice. Turning ICE into a paramilitary force is an act of treason. On January 20, we're telling our congressional officials it is their duty right now to impeach, convict, and remove. And they repeat that 3 times. Impeach, convict, and remove. Post your plans to join the walkout. Walk in using the hashtags Free America and Remove the Regime. Document your visits with the 20th, on the 20th, with those hashtags so we can multiply the movement. Find your congressional office, sign up, and receive articles of impeachment. Find all the information you need at removetheregime.com. We'll see you January 20th. Thank you for standing up for our democracy. We can do this. Okay. Anybody heard a thing about it? I didn't think so. I don't know. Anybody walking out? 844-844-3388. In other words, the Trump derangement syndrome is continuing full steam ahead out there. These people just don't get it. I've seen so many, and I've even shared a few myself. Going back, go to the archives and look to the likes of Bill Clinton, who in 1995, in his remember back in the days when they did the weekly radio address from the president? My first radio job, it was like noon every Saturday. The president would come on. It was usually like a 10-minute little, the weekly radio address talking about what's going on. And in Bill Clinton's 1995 weekly radio address, immigration was a hot topic. Deportation was a hot topic. And he said at the time, it doesn't matter if they haven't committed additional crimes while they're in the country. They came here illegally and they must go. Obama made similar statements. The archives you can find on the record. Chuck Schumer, years ago, made all these, everyone's made these statements. Just now that Trump's doing it, doing what every predecessor had done, he's a fascist. It's just things that make you go, All right, real quick, we're talking about McDermott being fired from the Bills this past day. When Josh Allen tossed a pass to wide receiver Brandon Cooks on the Bills' first overtime possession Saturday, the ball was ripped away by Denver's quarterback, Jaquan McMillan. That play was ruled an interception, of course. Although it was speculated Cooks was already down. I've watched that video over and over. And I mean, once your knee hits the ground, technically you're down, right? And he had possession. It's hard to understand why it was ruled the way it was ruled, according to McDermott. In my eyes, it was a catch by Cooks. Yes, in my eyes, it was. But even if it wasn't, let's just say, and I'm being objective here, even if it wasn't, the players are owed to me. Hey, let's stop it. Let's slow it down. Let's put the head referee and give him a chance to look at the monitor just to make sure. Just to make sure. Anyway, McDermott, hired by the Bills in 2017 after 6 seasons as the Panthers' defensive coordinator, a year after McDermott's hiring the Bills, made the franchise-altering decision to select eventual league MVP Allen with the 7th overall pick in 2018's NFL Draft. 29-year-old Allen and McDermott have reached the playoffs in 7 of their 8 seasons together. The closest they came to a Super Bowl was in 2020 and in 2024 when they fell to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship games, both times. Long regarded as the AFC East powerhouse, the Bills saw a sudden shift in dynamics this season due in part to a resurgent Patriots squad under their first-year coach, Mike Vrabel. New England at 14-3 went on to claim their first AFC East title in 2019, while the Bills, winners of division 5 straight years, finished second in the division at 12-5. So all this, with Steelers coach Mike Tomlin out, Ravens coach Harbaugh, 18 years out. Of course, he has now been named the next head coach of the Giants. So and as we see, the Bills are now one of 8 current vacancies in the NFL, joining the Ravens, Steelers, Dolphins, Browns, Titans, Cardinals, and Raiders. A lot of coaching slots open out there as we speak. We return into...
Want to put your business on a brand that is heard in some of the biggest radio markets on some of the biggest radio stations in the United States? Or maybe you want to have your brand take advantage of the explosive growth in podcasting. Why not do both? The Steve Summers Overnight Drive offers the best of both worlds and is ready to put your business at the front of everyone's waking thoughts.
I'm sorry, am I moving too quickly for you?
Well, at least you'll be on their mind in there somewhere. For sure, the Steve Summers Overnight Drive was recently named one of the top 15 late-night shows in America. So advertising on the Steve Summers Overnight Drive will put you in front of the very clients you want to walk through your front door. Interested? Maybe you want to take a test drive, kick the tires, Do a sample tasting, which might be kind of gross. Get details at overnightdriveradio.com or email rwild@lubricationspecialties.com. And let's put the Steve Summers Overnight Drive to work for you today.
Well, we're off the air. For good, I think.
It's no secret, today's diesel isn't as good as it should be. Diesel lacks lubricity. That can lead to fuel system failure, costing thousands in repairs. But you can prevent those issues with Hot Shot Secret products. Clean injectors boost cetane, increase fuel economy while adding 4 times more lubricity than the leading competitor. Claims proven by real-world use and confirmed by third-party ASTM testing. Available nationwide at truck stops, farm and automotive stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret. Powered by science.
Did you miss an episode of the Steve Summers Overnight Drive? Or just want to relive a little bit of the magic? Don't worry. You can download the Steve Summers Overnight Drive wherever you get your podcasts. Don't miss a single second of the show that was recently named one of the best late-night shows in America. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Steve Summers Overnight Drive so you don't miss a single episode. The Steve Summers Overnight Drive. Available wherever you get your podcasts or online at overnightdriveradio.com.
And hello to Billy, joining us this early Tuesday. Good morning, Steve. The Overnight Drive, folks. 28 degrees. Beulahville, North Carolina tonight. Happy Taco Tuesday. The Iron Duck checks in from Washington Courthouse, Ohio. 9 degrees. Keep the rubber side down. All right, who else on board here? Drummer Girl, good morning all. 23, feels like 13 here in Northeast Philly tonight. Most of the main roads are dry. I did find that there are still some snow-covered spots in areas. Yeah, it looks like we may get some more snow coming up this weekend. Yes, indeed. Well, let's head on down to Florida. Another chilly start to another day. Hello, Philip.
Hey, buddy. How you doing today?
Cold.
Cold. Me too, man. I'll join the party with you. Hey, before I start my little rant, and I'm going to have a little bit of a rant tonight, but I want to congratulate Indiana on their win. And everybody's talking about Miami being the underdog, and I'm a Florida guy, and you think, well, why is he talking about Indiana, man? Why is he talking about Indiana? Well, that little quarterback from Indiana actually is from Miami, and that gentleman tried out for the Canes and didn't make it for some reason or another. I don't know why they didn't take him. You know, maybe they saw something that just didn't fit their program or whatever. But I want to congratulate him for doing what he needed to do in his hometown. Now, here's something else that means pretty something detriment, or well, I should say, means a lot to him, is, Steve, who is the only NFL team to go undefeated? Can you remember?
I cannot, no.
And you can Google this, guys. The 1972 Miami Dolphins under Don Shula.
Okay.
Now this kid in Indiana that's going to Indiana is from Miami, and his team went undefeated in Don Shula's house. Now how can that? I mean that's monumental in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yes,
that is a dream. You only dream that kind of stuff. Okay, so kudos to him. He got his dream, you know, and I'm a Florida guy, and I'm a diehard Florida guy. And I have a friend that played with the Hurricanes under Jimmy Johnson, Mr. Dale Dawkins, who played for the Jets, and he was at the game last night. And, you know, it's one of those things, you know, it's a dream. We all have a dream growing up, what we want to do. Some of us make it, some of us don't. Well, that kid made it last night, and I'm very proud of him for doing it, and especially being a Floridian. That's right, he's a Floridian. All right, so getting off of that rant. Now, I'm going to call this next segment, Make Your Mind Up or Not. Steve, have you heard about ice being down here in Florida? Have you heard anything about it?
Can't say per se that I have, but I'll tell you what, since we're going to make your mind up, we only got about a minute before news break. Before we get on that, I'm sure you'll need more than 60 seconds. But ponder that for a moment. And coming up, here's what we're learning via AccuWeather in the coming days. This changing weather setup is going to favor the development of big storms capable of spreading snow, ice, and rain, stretching from the mountains in the Pacific Northwest right through the heart of the country and then on to the eastern seaboard. It's looking much more likely that a major storm with ice, snow is going to affect the south central part of the U.S. late this week. And then all eyes will be later on the Appalachians and the Atlantic seaboard then for the upcoming weekend. Again, more details coming up in our next hour. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
Did you miss an episode of the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive? Or just want to relive a little bit of the magic? Don't worry. You can download the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive wherever you get your podcasts. Don't miss a single second of the show that was recently named one of the best late night shows in America. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive so you don't miss a single episode. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive. Available wherever you get your podcasts or online at overnightdriveradio.com.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX 15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
Winter is here. When the temperature drops, so does your truck's performance. Avoid fuel gelling by using Hot Shot Secret's EDT Plus Winter Defense, a 7-in-1 fuel booster and anti-gel that improves cold weather performance. The 7-point cetane boost decreases DPF regens and increases fuel economy. Be confident that your engine is running smoothly and trouble-free, even in the coldest temperatures. Hot Shot Secret EDT Plus Winter Defense, available at Pilot Flying J, Amazon, O'Reilly Auto Parts, and HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. The Pentagon has ordered around 1,500 active duty troops to be ready for possible deployment to Minnesota amid intensifying anti-ICE protests sparked by the fatal shooting of Renee Good. President Trump has threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act, but recently said he does not see a need to use it right now, and no deployment decision has yet been made. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is defending President Trump's plan to impose tariffs on Denmark and European allies who do not support the U.S. taking Greenland.
Appearing on NBC's Meet the Press, Bessent argued that tariffs are a matter of national security importance.
It is a strategic decision by the president. This is a geopolitical decision, and he is able to use the economic might of the U.S. to avoid a hot war.
His comrades come as the European Union was set to hold an emergency meeting to discuss President Trump's Greenland tariffs. On Sunday, EU leaders warned in a joint statement that the tariffs undermine transatlantic relations, adding, "We will continue to stand united in response." I'm Mark Mayfield.
Federal authorities are cracking down on interference during immigration enforcement operations.
A Jacksonville woman is facing federal charges after investigators say she punched a Florida Highway Patrol trooper during a joint ICE operation. Authorities say Jennifer Cruz exited her vehicle and struck the trooper in the face. She was arrested Thursday and later released on bond. Ron Warner, USA Radio News.
There's a new breast cancer DNA test that scientists say predicts which treatment will work best.
It was developed at the Institute for Cancer Research in London, and it involves a simple blood test and liquid biopsy. Researchers are telling the British newspaper The Guardian it has the potential to be game-changing for the more than 2 million women worldwide diagnosed with breast cancer each year. If it's used early on to direct women to the right combination of chemotherapy and immunotherapy, scientists think it would boost survival rates. I'm Sarah Lee Kessler.
From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Business owners, are you paying high phone bills for old school systems and lousy service? StrongTel cuts your phone bills in half and turns every phone you own into a feature-rich business system. Sean Roddy, CEO of Hennings Brothers Drilling, had this to say. We've been a StrongTel customer for over 10 years. It's great, and even includes an intercom with video to our equipment yard. I can watch live from anywhere with my smartphone. I'd recommend StrongTel to anyone. Never miss a customer call again with your StrongTel business system. StrongTel is a proud iTex partner and always welcomes your iTex dollars. You'll get award-winning StrongTel service, a business-class phone system, and cut your phone bill in half. Visit strongtel.com. That's StrongTel, StrongTel.com. It's StrongTel.
We have to follow the law, and there are strict rules when it comes to FERPA, and that will not change.
From Florida, the Sarasota County School District is expected to consider a resolution tomorrow affirming full cooperation with law enforcement, including ICE. District spokesman Craig Maniglia spoke with WFLA.
We also do not release any kind of student records to anybody, so everybody in our school, we respect all the privacy.
District officials say student files remain protected, though critics question whether such a resolution is necessary given constitutional due process guarantees. At least 8 skiers were killed in 3 separate avalanches in the Austrian Alps over the weekend. The deadly snowslides hit areas near Salzburg and central Austria, despite clear warnings about high avalanche danger, underscoring hazardous winter conditions. A smaller version of the Las Vegas Sphere is going to be built in Prince George's County, Maryland.
Sphere Entertainment Company has announced a collaboration with the county, the state of Maryland, and Peterson Companies to build a Sphere at National Harbor. It'll have about 16,000 seats as well as cutting-edge technology such as a 16K display and Sphere immersive sound. The effort will be supported by about $200 million in state, local, and private incentives. No timeline has been established since construction is contingent on several pending agreements and approvals. I'm Matt Mattinson.
And I'm Anthony Lucero, USA Radio News.
iLocal.net is offering a free website analysis to improve the online presence of your business. Business owners across the U.S. turn to iLocal.net to improve their search engine rankings. Search engines are constantly changing their algorithms. You need the professionals who know how to use those changes to benefit your business. Don't hope for new customers. Get found and be chosen. Visit iLocal.net/go for your free website analysis. iLocal.net/go.
Did you miss an episode of the Steve Summers Overnight Drive? Or just want to relive a little bit of the magic? Don't worry. You can download the Steve Summers Overnight Drive wherever you get your podcasts. Don't miss a single second of the show that was recently named one of the best late night shows in America. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Steve Summers Overnight Drive so you don't miss a single episode. The Steve Summers Overnight Drive, available wherever you get your podcasts or online at overnightdriveradio.com. Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system.
Keep the bugs off your glass and the smokies off your ass. This is the Overnight Drive with Steve Summers.
over just like that. What do you say? Taco Tuesday comes our way. 20th day of January. Okay, let me get back to Philip. All right, where we leave off? Something along the lines of make up your mind, I think you said.
Absolutely. And then I ask you, have you heard anything about the ice being down here? I mean, the story that just ran on your thing about Sarasota was on there. That's really one of the only things. And if you want to check any of these articles out, please look at clickorlando.com. That's where I'm getting a lot of my information from. Okay, so ice is coming to Florida in another way. And how it's happening is they are going to build another detainment center down here. They want another detainment center, Steve.
Okay.
Now, we know about Alligator Alcatraz. ICE was down here in Central Florida. The administrators from ICE in Washington came down here last week, and they were looking at warehouses down here. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They found a warehouse that's on East Orlando. It's off of 528. Okay? And this warehouse is perfect for what they needed. Everything is under air. Everything is under heat. It's all enclosed. It can take a hurricane. It's one of the warehouses that FEMA could actually use. They wanted to store their stuff for hurricanes and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay? It's a brand new warehouse, state-of-the-art. It's got 98 doors. It's a big place. It's probably 3 to 5 times bigger than Alligator Alcatraz. Okay, and the reason why I say make your mind up or not is, if you guys remember, and this has been in the news down here, that Orange County was complaining that they didn't want to detain ICE people, or, the folks that were being brought in by ICE, the illegals, in their jail, because they were complaining they were going to have to pay for it. Okay? Since January 1 of this year, how many days in this year are we? We are 20 days into this year. Right, Steve?
Correct.
There has been over 800 people detained by ICE in Orange County's jail right now. 800. It's actually, if you want to know the exact number, it's 831.
Wow.
Are in the county jail being awaited to go to where they need to go to be taken care of. Okay? So here comes ICE. They come down here and look at these warehouses. It's a safe place. It's in a rural area. They say, it's going to affect tourism. How's it going to affect tourism when it's sitting on the east side of Orlando, damn near in the marsh? Okay? There ain't no Walt Disney World in the marsh. Okay?
Yeah.
All right? So my question is, make your mind up or not. Do you want to put the people up and do this? Do you want this taken care of in your county, or do you want to pay for it? It seems like to me the folks at ICE are trying to take some pressure off of these counties down here so they don't have to put them up in their jails and cost money. It costs them more money to hold these people in the jail, feed them, take care of them, than it does the regular prisoners. Okay? And they're still transitioning. They're trying to figure out where these guys are going to go. Whereas you could have this nice place, this warehouse that's all set up. It's got heat, it's got air, it's fortified. I mean, it's concrete, it's the whole shot. It's ready to roll. The only thing is you'd have to build the infrastructure inside the building as far as the detainment center. You're not sitting in the middle of Alligator Alley in the middle of all these, swamp. Okay? So make your mind up or not. Now, let me ask you this, Steve. If President Trump would have had the opportunities he has now, back when he was in office before, and we hadn't had all this, things going on, impeachment. How many times was it he was impeached when he was in office before, Steve?
Yeah,
how many times did they throw that?
Twice.
Okay. If we would have got away from that mess And just get away from that mess and just did the status quo, get things started. You know, we could have got some of this stuff fixed years ago. Okay? And a lot of people that were involved in that situation with those impeachments back then are down here in Florida. Okay? They are not in office anymore, but they're down here in Florida now, and they're kind of retired from it. They're still advising and whatnot on it. But still, my point is, if we could have got this done years ago, we wouldn't be sitting here today crying about ICE. And that's what needs to be done. Make your mind up or else. That's the way it is. Do you ever hear that term, Steve? Do what you need to do on the pot or get off at one?
Yep, I sure have.
Okay? That's the way I feel right now. You know, and that's what a lot of guys out here on the street feel. A lot of my friends feel this way. We're not dedicated to a party. We're just regular people out here working, doing our daily due diligence, you know. But we wish they would grow some industrial fortitude and figure out what's going on, you know, because I'm sick of turning on my television and seeing it on the news every day, and all these guys that want to drum up all these protesters. You don't see none of that protesting stuff happening down here now, do you? You know why? Because we got a state law that's against it. Okay, you play that junk down here, especially. I can tell you right now, you play it in Polk County, and Grady Judd's going to haul your butt to jail. He's going to take you to Grady's house. Okay, and that's the way it is down here, and that's what needs to happen. These states like Minnesota, Illinois, California, I hate to say that, I had to bring up that C word, but you don't see that mess happening down here because of that, and that's what needs to happen. We need to grow some industrial fortitude and take care of our states. And this should have been taken care of. We shouldn't be having this conversation. We shouldn't have had that lady get killed up in Minnesota. That should not have happened. Okay? If we would have taken care of our business years ago, we wouldn't have the problems we got now. And that's my feelings, and that's my rant. Mm-hmm. I thank you for taking my call. I know I'm using that from somebody else's. That's one of your other call-in guys. But I want everybody to have a safe night and have a great day, and we'll talk at you later.
All right. And I did as you were speaking, I did a quick search. Right now, really, it's just Minneapolis is dominating the headlines. I mean, we had Los Angeles originally, right? Yeah, is that where it kind of started? Of course, then it was Midway Blitz in Chicago, and then there's been others, and there are operations going on in a number of other places. I think this was from one of the Orlando affiliates. This past evening, it says rising ICE activity in Central Florida has led to a debate between lawmakers over immigration enforcement. Democrat Congressman Maxwell Frost emphasized the ongoing relevance of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy. Of King's legacy, it's not just a chapter in a history book, it's unfinished business. He questioned the current state of safety and order, asking, do you feel safer now than you did 2 years ago? Do you feel like there's less chaos in our communities now than 2 years ago? Last week, 377 inmates were booked into the Orange County Jail with immigration holds. Yeah, a big increase from 71 the previous week. Republican Representative Randy Fine expressed his stance. We're going to continue working hard to make Florida the least hospitable place in the U.S. for illegal immigrants. My advice to every illegal in Florida, go home. He added there shouldn't be rising tensions. This is a fight against foreign invaders. What we've seen in Minneapolis would never be allowed to happen in Florida. You go to jail. We stand with the United States and we stand with ICE. Senator Rick Scott shared his views. He said, we like legal immigration in Florida. What we don't want is we don't want criminals. Support our ICE agents, support their families as they work to ensure that our country is safe again. So, and then there are, several stories about the big facility he was talking about, looking to open a new detention center. But if you've got 800 arrested in the last few weeks there. Yeah, and these are criminal illegals, right? It is 844-844-3388. All right, I saw what you spoke to the screener thing there, Eagle. I do see that, they've got a big response going on in Portland this morning. Welcome back.
I'm still trying to get some information about that. They saying that 2 cops were shot, or 2 or 3 cops were shot tonight in Portland. I don't know if these people are still protesting out there in Portland, Oregon, about what, I don't know, but that's another hot spot. Like your previous caller was saying, things operate a lot better, Steve. We already talked about this in a Republican state with these ICE agents, because they have cooperation from the mayors and the governors of these different states. And Minnesota is not cooperating, and they're only making the situation more difficult. And like Tom Holman said, it's just a matter of time before one of these ICE agents is shot by one of these deranged individuals. Because that's all they do, Steve, is stand out in the middle of the street. This is their idea of protesting. If you look at the videos of Minnesota, they go to the ICE detention center and stand out in the middle of the road, yelling and screaming at all the cars that drive by, and blowing whistles and horns, and trying to delay the progress of these ICE agents to going out to get rapists and murderers off the streets of Minneapolis, Minnesota. And these people, but like I say, luckily the weather is keeping a lot of these guys down. It's cold as hell in Minnesota right now, so I believe that if the weather wasn't cold right now, Steve, so these ICE agents can't get no sleep. They're denying them access. So these ICE agents can't get no sleep. They're denying them access to the hotel. They won't rent them out no rooms. In certain Democratic cities, they're telling, and then they've even been denied service in restaurants. We talked about that last week. ICE agents tried to go into a restaurant in Minneapolis, and the owner of the restaurant told him to get out, that he wasn't going to service them just because they are a federal agent. So this is really ridiculous how these people are being treated, because they're only trying to get the bad people, that are the outsiders, out, and then these people don't want to cooperate, and they're putting with the mayor up there in Minnesota. This guy here continues to not cooperate with the ICE people, and he's only making it worse. And the same thing with Walls. They're already in enough heat. You would think they would want to cooperate with the ICE people, to try to make things a little bit better, the situation, because they already got enough trouble, but they don't want to do that. But I wanted to ask you something. Maybe you can look into this, but I don't know if I seen some false information that Donald Trump had said something else about Ilhan Omar today, saying that he was going to try to get her deported or something, because she continues to badmouth the U.S. and badmouth Donald Trump on these weekly, these Sunday morning talk shows. For some reason, they keep interviewing her and trying to get her opinion. And and all she does is the same old rhetoric, from her, week in and week out. And like I said, and like Donald Trump said, Somalia is one of the worst places in the world to live, and there's a reason why she's not there. And they said that her bank account. I think I heard somebody else say that, Steve. They said that she started out, I think they said, with $45 or $100 in her bank account, and now she's worth over $20 million. How did she accumulate all that money in such a short period of time, and being in the U.S. of A. And so that's the questions that need to be asked, is how she got all this money, And if for some reason they don't, and same thing with Tim Walz. And then one other thing right quick before I hang up, I told you this a couple weeks ago, Steve. Everybody in America ought to be happy right now that Tim Walz and Kamala Harris are not in the White House. We were very close to having those two individuals represent the United States of America. If that don't scare you, I don't know what will. And I thank you for taking my.
All right. Yeah. If I had to wager a guess, I saw the clip where Ilhan Omar was, probably CNN. I don't know. Somebody was interviewing her there over the weekend, Saturday or Sunday, and she made a reference to the United States, taking the Lord's name in vain, calling it the United GD States. If I had to, again, wager a guess, I'd say he's pretty much responding to that little statement. She has no respect for the country whatsoever. Now, Portland, all right, I was able to get a little bit of info from KATU. It started right about 3 hours ago. Someone shot and wounded 2 Portland police officers Monday night in the Lloyd district of Northeast Portland, prompting a large police response as they are searching for the shooter, they say. Condition of the officers not immediately known. Police, they say, have blocked off a large area as they conduct their search with the Bureau's tactical officers. Police called to the area of Northeast 17th Avenue and Clackamas Street about 8:20 p.m. Pacific time, so about 11:20 Eastern. According to Broadcastify, a service that records dispatch audio, one of the officers was shot in the leg. The other officer shot in the arm and the ear. Police had not yet confirmed that information, but they say at least 88 police units have responded to the area. According to dispatch information, that's an unprecedented number. Police have been seen dressed in tactical gear, carrying rifles. Officers told a KATU reporter to move back, telling the area was not safe. Officers also told people to stay indoors. Several ambulances were seen going to the police perimeter. Portland Mayor Keith Wilson and Police Chief Bob Day are, they tell us, at the scene. Police expected to provide more information sometime soon. So there you have it. Portland, I guess, an active scene at this hour, unless they've caught the bad guy, since this was reported about 45 minutes ago. Hey, good morning, Vic.
Hey, good morning, Steve. Well, basically, I'm a little bit confused as what Trump is doing with a lot of the other stuff going on. I seen something on the news today, yesterday, that we had given up all of our air bases in Iraq due to an agreement that Biden made. And it's like, how does that slip by the news? I just seen that one little clip, and I don't know if it's actually true or not, but I have to believe it is. And we're running around here worrying about these protests and everything else. And I don't understand if they're upset about ICE going out in the community and arresting people. Why aren't they on to Governor Walz for not letting the ICE just go to the jail and pick up those people? Then they wouldn't have to be out in the community. So I'm to say I'm a little bit frustrated and aggravated with the whole thing that's going on. I don't know how they're letting these people, when I say the opposition, I don't know why they're letting these people get by with just concentrating on ICE and all these raids and stuff. And I was just mentioning about trying to make noise so the ICE people couldn't get any sleep in the hotels. Well, that hotel has other guests also. They're not getting any sleep either. So I'm really just curious as to what the real target is, because I'm thinking that the real target is making sure that they can get Democrats elected and take over the Congress again. And after that, we're going to be back into that old scenario of impeachment or charges, and getting a lot of sympathetic judges to make these crazy decisions. And the last time I read the Constitution, it said if a president and a state were in a conflict, that had to be heard by the Supreme Court, not the inferior district courts that are a creation of Congress. So they're down to the first go around. They were letting magistrates, the lowest of the low of the federal judiciary, make decisions about the president of the United States. So I really don't understand. You were talking about the deal with what they're going to have some sort of remove the regime or something.
Right, that's
or whatever.
supposed to be happening today. I hadn't heard about it till I came across it on social media, and I clicked on the link, and they got a big full-fledged website that exists, but I don't know how many people actually follow it.
Well, wasn't that what they said was an insurrection, and Trump was trying to remove Biden, a duly elected person?
Right.
I mean, where's the difference there? So, I mean, and as far as using the military and all that, well, let's just say you can't always use force, but it will give them a lot of political propaganda to use against Trump. And the other thing is, I know the old communist and Nazi things are overused, but in this particular instance, I have to believe that whenever you have people that, like Obama, that was elected by a known terrorist, Bill.
Yeah, hold the thought there. We got to pause. News break.
At Hot Shot Secret.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. The Pentagon has ordered around 1,500 active duty troops to be ready for possible deployment to Minnesota amid intensifying anti-ICE protests. President Trump has threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act, but recently said he does not see a need to use it right now, and no deployment decision has yet been made. Federal authorities are cracking down on interference during immigration enforcement operations.
A Jacksonville woman is facing federal charges after investigators say she punched a Florida Highway Patrol trooper during a joint ICE operation. Authorities say Jennifer Cruz exited her vehicle and struck the trooper in the face. She was arrested Thursday and later released on bond. Ron Warner, USA Radio News.
7 police officers were killed in Guatemala after gangs attacked during a prison crackdown. Authorities regained control and freed the hostages, but violence spread around Guatemala City, prompting increased military and police operations. From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Maybe this is you too. There's enormous frustration right now with healthcare costs. It is amazing. Healthcare costs for families in the last 20 years have almost tripled, and it just keeps getting worse. All this to say, this is why MediShare is so in demand right now. People are looking for alternatives. And MediShare is proven you can save thousands of dollars a year and actually like it more. Over 1 million Americans are now part of healthcare sharing, and MediShare is the gold standard. It's trusted. It works. It's been helping people save money and have peace of mind now for 30 plus years. It's not some big impersonal thing either. It's a community of people like you helping each other. So yeah, if you're frustrated too, here's your chance to make a refreshing change. You'll notice the difference as soon as you call. They're easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number. Call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Did you miss an episode of the Steve Summers Overnight Drive? Or just want to relive a little bit of the magic? Don't worry. You can download the Steve Summers Overnight Drive wherever you get your podcasts. Don't miss a single second of the show that was recently named one of the best late night shows in America. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Steve Summers Overnight Drive so you don't miss a single episode. The Steve Summers Overnight Drive. Available wherever you get your podcasts or online at overnightdriveradio.com. TEL's Independent Owner-Operator Program gives you the power to operate under your own authority or choose the carrier you want to run for. Drive a new truck with full factory warranties, solo or team. TEL has a lease that fits your business. Call us at 866-404-6289 or visit tel360.com and use promo code OVERNIGHT100.
like the men and women who power America. The people at Hot Shot Secret work hard and play harder. We're the fastest growing diesel and oil additive brand in the country. We solve problems. We protect engines. We save you money. And more importantly, time. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Looking to stretch every mile and every dollar? Go with SpeedMax tires. Designed specifically for U.S. roads and built tough for long hauls. With a best-in-class mileage-to-cost ratio, you'll get more miles, fewer swaps, and more money in your pocket. Built strong, priced smart. That's SpeedMax. SpeedMax, built for the long haul. Priced for the smart hauler. For more info, call 860-436-4100 or buy online at digitire.com.
Want to put your business on a brand that is heard in some of the biggest radio markets on some of the biggest radio stations in the United States? Or maybe you want to have your brand take advantage of the explosive growth in podcasting. Why not do both? The Steve Summers Overnight Drive offers the best of both worlds and is ready to put your business at the front of everyone's waking thoughts.
I'm sorry, am I moving too quickly for you?
Well, at least you'll be on their mind in there somewhere. For sure, the Steve Summers Overnight Drive was recently named one of the top 15 late-night shows in America. So advertising on the Steve Summers Overnight Drive will put you in front of the very clients you want to walk through your front door. Interested? Maybe you want to take a test drive, kick the tires, do a sample tasting, which might be kind of gross. Get details at overnightdriveradio.com or email rwild@lubricationspecialties.com. And let's put the Steve Summers Overnight Drive to work for you today.
Well, we're off the air. For good, I think.
You're listening to the Overnight Drive with Steve Summers.
I've seen some of the video somewhere in, was it Russia? I mean, buried, literally buried. You talk about the snowpocalypse. Said the footage coming out of this particular region is hard to believe. A series of relentless storms has unleashed what locals are calling a snow apocalypse, shattering a 146, burying the city under several meters of snow. Snow drifts, they say, have reached the 4th floor of high-rise apartment buildings, completely submerging first-floor entrances, trapping residents inside, doorways blocked by towering mounds, many residents forced to dig tunnels to escape or exit their homes through windows. All right. The snow depths. They're doing centimeters, millimeters, all that stuff, whatever. 8 feet, basically. 8 feet of snow in many neighborhoods. Now, we've seen, some things close to that, right? In some of those big lake effect snow bands from time to time, but all right, digging out, right? All right, Vic, thanks for hanging in there. Sorry we had to take care of the news break.
No, that's okay. You're talking about snow drifts. I think it was 1947, 48, 49, somewhere in through there. We had a similar situation in the high Sierras out there. There was a whole passenger train that was blocked out there, and you were talking about the big steam trains. Even the big steam trains that had that thing on the front to clear the tracks, they were having trouble getting through there. But like I say, it was one of those 3 years, and that's still a record here in the United States there. But no, what I was talking about, I have to wonder if everything that's going on is some sort of a communist plot, as they used to say,
because did you see where China invited Canada over to basically ally with them?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I just keep looking at all these things. And I keep thinking, I hope that the intelligence community, which is rather broad, I hope they're looking at all this different stuff and trying to think some sort of a strategy to basically see if all these protests against getting illegal aliens out of this country is somehow connected to that. I mean, it's just that's just kind of my thought pattern there. But I was trying to think how to tie this up. But anyway, the deal with people like Tim Walz made visits to China. That Valerie Jarrett, Mao Zedong, she thinks is her hero, and she was probably running the Obama administration more than anybody else, and she's still around. And I'm sure that the Obamas are still around running something. And that poor old lady that said that Obama was going to get into his stash and pay off all of her bills, she's probably deceased by now, but I doubt if Obama dug into his stash. So anyway, I don't know if you get where I'm going or not, but there are people that took an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution and the laws of the United States. They never meant that oath a bit more than a man in the moon. It was more about destroying. So the first thing we have to do is look and see where all those people are now and how they went about things. And, you know, Biden surreptitiously actually flew illegal aliens into all these different cities. And if I were looking at this, my first thing would be, let's see where all those planes went, get all the flight records, and that's where I would be putting my effort if I were on ICE, and then, or part of ICE. And then I would make sure I'd clean up all the easy targets to make sure they're not in any of the red districts where people are willing to cooperate with ICE. And you're never going to convince these people without the use of force at the end. But if they start digging into things and find out where people had committed different violations, I mean, just as an example, I didn't realize it was legal to carry cash in big amounts out of the United States or to carry it in. That you used to have to do a lot of answering, and the whole deal now, they said they had the right paperwork. Well, who approved that right paperwork, and where did that come from? Maybe it was somebody within government. So there are a whole lot of things that can be concentrated on rather than just doing all this street stuff and giving all these people a reason to go out and riot or make a big deal of it, and then try to twist the narrative to where they could say Trump is some sort of a dictator or whatever. And the other thing, too, is they talk about this protest about saving the democracy. Number one, we're a republic, but we're a democratic republic. So are they wanting to save the republic, or are they wanting to say we're a democracy to where mob rule basically rules? So that's about all I have to say, Steve.
All right, Vic, thank you so much for chiming in. Yes, then that's what they're talking about today with, what is it, the regime change thing? Save our democracy. All right, let's see. We were talking about the weather pattern change. Right now through midweek, we'll see several shots of cold Arctic air, rounds of snow, continuing to impact portions of the Midwest, Great Lakes, the Northeast. Frigid, gusty winds blowing across the lakes, bringing more rounds of lake effect snow. Visibility sharply reduced in those heavy bands of snow. That was what was the contributing factor to that 100 vehicle pileup in Michigan this past day. Intense lake effect snow bands. But this cold pattern Looks like we're going to be stuck in the freezer for the long haul. The cold conditions that have set across the Midwest and the Northeast, it's here to stay for the foreseeable future, according to AccuWeather. Cold air will still be in place this weekend, 24th and the 25th. There are signs we could see a big storm in that period that will usher in snow across the eastern U.S. as the cold lingers and even strengthens as the week progresses. The threat of frostbite, hypothermia will grow for anyone spending time outdoors. The sustained Arctic chill will also release increased heating and energy demand across roughly a third of the country. Now, Friday and into the weekend, a far-reaching storm is expected to gradually swing out of the Rocky Mountains into the plains before barreling across the eastern U.S. Given the cold air that's going to be in place across that region, wintry impacts are going to be across a large swath of the storm track. There's where the question lies. Exactly where this storm sets up and tracks will determine where the snow versus ice will be. Residents from Colorado and Wyoming through the mid-Atlantic and New England, stay alert for forecast updates, especially with the threat of ice becoming a possibility. But the ingredients are coming into place for a long-duration storm that brings a substantial amount of snow, sleet, and freezing rain from Texas and southern portions of the plains to the lower and mid parts of the Mississippi Valley late this week and then the east over the weekend. Now, there is the potential for snow and ice to reach deep into the heart of Texas. I mean, we're talking along the Interstate 10 and 20 corridors, further to the east in the central states, and then further north along the I-81 and 95 corridors in the east. Given the magnitude of the cold that follows the storm, many areas in the southern states could struggle with an icy grip of winter, damaged infrastructure, major travel difficulties, the scope of which will be revealed in the coming days as more details of the storm unfold, as a notable dip in the jet stream becomes more enhanced over the coming weeks. It's going to keep reinforcing cold air filtering southward from Canada. Perhaps the most substantial expanse of cold air for the entire winter is going to develop late this week and this weekend surrounding that storm. Now, even into February, the AccuWeather long-range forecasters are concerned that this temperature trend is going to remain below typical for this time of year for a large chunk of the country. Our long-range forecast, February, below average temperatures across much of the eastern two-thirds of the country. The biggest departures from normal will be in the Midwest. Now, areas west of the Rockies, I guess you're lucky, above average temperatures in store. The greatest departure from normal is going to be there in the southwestern portions of the USA. All right, is it going to be the big one this weekend? Well, are we actually working tonight? Did you enjoy an additional night off? Actually had a weekend?
Yeah, actually kind of had a weekend. Didn't have to do all the work of cleaning up snow. I mean, we had 2 inches of snow to clean up Saturday night, and then Sunday we had 2 inches, and that was kind of wet, sloppy, slushy snow. That wasn't even fun snow to clean up. And now we had a whole nother dusting there Monday morning. So got that cleaned up, and of course we had temperatures up into the mid-30s, and with that going on, a little bit of sunshine, the blacktop driveway was pretty much clean and dry by the afternoon. So get all that cleaned up so we don't have an ice issue around the house there. So we did good with that. I don't know, somewhere around 1 o'clock in the afternoon there, I decided it was about time to go see what the work truck looked like, and it wasn't in too bad a shape. And so we got it up the road and we've actually got five. Got three loads delivered for my yesterday's work. That's all completed now here by 1:30 this morning. I guess I had yesterday's work completed, and it's actually working out that I'm going to go get the first load for today and go load it up and take it back to the parking spot and have it hang out for a while, and then we'll go on and get a rest and then continue on later. But anyway, so we're doing pretty good. There's since we started with your show there, temperatures were about 29, 30 degrees, and we're down to 16 now here, Lancaster County, just a little bit east of Lancaster, and so we're getting chilly, but the wind is blowing out there. Got clear skies, and the wind is just howling out there. So is the real feel? I don't know where it is, but it ain't feeling much there. Feeling kind of numb is what the real feel's starting to feel like. Is pretty numb.
Right.
Yeah. So don't let things hang out too long there when you're hanging out doing something. Speaking of that, did we miss? I believe it was yesterday. Was Dolly Parton's 80th birthday?
I believe I did see something along that lines. 80, yes. How about that?
So a couple points to ponder there. Happy birthday to Dolly there, anyway. But yeah, I guess Dolly's birthday will last as long as people are wishing it for her there. So that's a good thing. Did you see Kenny Schrader? Kenny Schrader was racing and got a victory at 70 years old, Your Honor. So out there in one of the late model cars, they were running late models
was
there.
Was he out at they had the Wild West shootout, I think. Is that where he was?
I believe so. So, yeah, wherever it was when he won there, they handed him a pair of 6-shooters, and so when he was standing up in the windowsill, he was firing off the 6-shooters there in the air.
That's the Wild West shootout, sure enough. Yep. So 70 years old, Kenny Schrader comes home with a victory. How about that?
Don't rule out the old guys that know how to get around the dirt. Anyways, I don't know, not a whole lot. I got, you're talking about the Northern Lights. Apparently they were visible last night. I had a buddy of mine that does a lot of photography there for the fire service and the towing service, recovery service. He comes to the Make-A-Wish and does a lot of photography there of all the trucks, goes to a lot of truck shows and a lot of everything. And pretty much, if something's going on somewhere, somehow, and it doesn't matter, pretty much anything's going on, Dustin is there. I have no idea. I don't know if he's cloned himself like 10 times, and he's just everywhere. And so anyways, he got a bunch of pictures there of the Northern Lights last night and was making a comment of the temperature and how he was freezing his rear end off out there doing it. Of course, I posted that I appreciated it very much of his hard work because I was sitting home by the nice warm pellet stove. But anyways, but I guess the Northern Lights were around last night. Probably if anybody gets a chance there to get out where there's a low ambient light there, not much light pollution. It looks like around this area it'd probably be a pretty good night to do it. Don't appear to have any moon, but some stars out there, so it might be pretty good. And as you say, you do it with your camera. Can't really see it with your naked eye, but you put your camera out there, and all of a sudden everything appears on the phone. It's kind of interesting there. We did that last year when we had the whole big thing going on. So, anyways, other than that, I don't know. There was a couple other little things. We sent you a few things there for show prep again, so hopefully you're able to use some of that. Other than that, we're just pulling into the next loading facility to start today's work, I guess. So I guess with that, we'll cut you loose there and see what you can do to go out there and do your due diligence, Your Honor.
We'll see what we can dig up. All right, one of the tidbits he did send me was the headline: Ken Schrader, a win in the dirt. And yeah, it was one of the races at the Wild West Shootout in Arizona.